is what it's felt like for the opposition this year in trying to stop Christian Okoye. The hard-charging Chiefs fullback is the leading rusher in the NFL and has pulled his way in for 11 touchdowns this season. The Chiefs defense has been doing some hard-charging of their own, shutting down opposing quarterbacks and allowing only 4 touchdowns over the last 6 games. Today, the Chiefs continue their charge towards the playoffs.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the San Diego Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
This afternoon, we're at Arrowhead Stadium as one of the real surprises in the NFL this season. The Kansas City Chiefs match up with the San Diego Chargers, hoping to keep alive their wild card chances for the playoffs. And while it's not Green Bay, it is pretty close, as the two teams will be working in frigid conditions. He is dressed lightly. Looking around the stadium, you'll see a lot of blankets today. Temperature for kickoff is 18 degrees with the wind chill 0. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Arrowhead Stadium. I'm Joel Myers alongside Paul McGuire, and today, Paul, the Kansas City Chiefs try to win their 4th straight game, and the big reason behind the recent run at the tail end of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs has been the solid play of that great defense.
It's a great defense, but you take a look at the secondary with Lewis, Porter, Cherry, and Ross, probably the finest defensive secondary in the National Football League. The interesting thing yesterday, we talked to Marty Schottenheimer, we mentioned defense, he had a smile on his face, and he said, these guys get mad when you get a first down on them. Not a score, but a first.
And he said it with a straight face. Not many people 4 weeks ago expected the Kansas City Chiefs to be in the position they're in right now. They have a very good chance at making the AFC wildcard spot. They do need some help, though. They do not control their own destiny, Paul. They need some help from the teams that are going to be matching up over the next 2 weeks with the LA Raiders and the Cleveland Browns.
The LA Raiders really have the big problem because they have to play in Seattle, and then go to New York and play the Giants. I think that's the toughest schedule. Now, but you look at Cleveland. Cleveland has to play Minnesota. I think Minnesota could win that football game. The most important thing that the Kansas City Chiefs have to concentrate on, Joel, is their own destiny, and that's winning this football game and then going down to Miami and beating Miami. They already beat them once this year.
The Kansas City Chiefs defense that we've been talking about comes into the game ranked 2nd in the NFL. And what a super addition this young man has been. The #1 draft choice from Alabama, Derek Thomas. 10 sacks to lead the Chiefs, one of the tops in the AFC in that department. And what a confident young man. We had an opportunity to talk with him yesterday. Paul asked him, what has been your toughest adjustment from going from college ball to the pros? He said it with a straight face as well. He said, none. It's been like a dream come true.
He's a very confident young man, and he gets the job done, and the offense rests on that man's shoulders. That's Steve DeBerg.
He has been phenomenal over the last 3 games. The last 6, very, very consistent. He's in his 13th year out of San Jose State. His completion percentage tops in the AFC. About 13 interceptions, you might remember, came in week number 3 against these same San Diego Chargers. Lowry has it teed up as the Chargers won the opening coin toss, and Anthony Miller is back, along with Jamie Holland waiting for the kickoff. It'll be Holland at the 2. Good special teams coverage as he's down at the 20-yard line in the arms of San Petrie. An 18-yard return for Jamie Holland. Got a huge offensive line that they've been looking at some new people on. Joel Patton getting the start, as well as Joey Howard. Number of youngsters out there, including the youngest player in the NFL. They're starting center Courtney Hall. Billy Joe Tolliver, the rookie quarterback from Texas Tech. He gets his 4th career start. Another rookie in the backfield, the rookie from Florida State, his partner Marion Butts. Now, when they go to their spread offense, the extra wide receivers, Jamie Holland and Quinn Early, joining Anthony Miller and Wayne Walker. Butts the only one in the backfield on 1st and 10 for the Chargers from their own 20-yard line. Tolliver's got quite a gun, and he finds the big tight end. It's like trying to bring down an offensive tackle. It's a gain of 7 to the 27-yard line. Took 2, maybe even 3. Dino Hackett and Walker Lee Ashley, the first one's there. This Chiefs defensive front 7, one of the very best in the NFL. They don't drop off that much. They lost Billy Maas about 4 or 5 weeks ago with a broken right forearm, but Sally Amu has done a sensational job. And the linebackers, one of the best group of 4 in the entire league. When they go to their 41 defense, Derek Thomas goes to a down position. Mike Bain for pass rushing. 1 linebacker is Lewis Cooper. 2 extra defensive backs joining Lewis, Ross, Porter, and Cherry, the regular foursome in the secondary. 2nd and 3 from the 27. Marion Butts has the first down, banging his way across the 30. near the 32-yard line. A little altercation down over to the left side. Dino Hackett getting into it with the left guard, Broderick Thompson.
Broderick Thompson tried to run Dino Hackett off the playing field. That's what happened. That's they got tangled up. They were holding on to each other. The play was over. Referees missed.
No flags, no personal fouls, and a first down for San Diego.
One thing about San Diego, though, when they first played out in San Diego gained over 200 yards rushing against this team, and this is the one thing that the Kansas City Chiefs really are trying to stop is the running game. They're not too worried about Billy Joe Tolliver passing the ball, especially on a day like today.
And Dan Henning said, I'm not worried about the cold weather. The cold weather really doesn't affect a good running attack like we have. Walker's the motion man on 1st and 10. Butts gets the call. The rookie from Florida State stacked up. Maybe a yard on the carry. The strong safety, Kevin Porter, up on the run support.
Kevin Porter along with Dino Hackett, and they're waiting on it. You know, you're just not going to power offense, I don't think, today against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just not going to be there. Now, just take a look on the left of your screen. You're going to see him come in. And Dino Hackett, and there's Porter, and there's Dino Hackett 54, or 56, excuse me, is Dino Hackett, and he's there, and Walker Lee Ashley, number 54, was there. So they're getting their linebackers active early.
Marty Schottenheimer brings his record of 7-6-1. As Darren Nelson now enters the game in the backfield for the San Diego Chargers on 2nd and 9. Flags in the air, and a dead ball foul coming up. A penalty coming up against the Chargers. They look like they lifted up a little bit early on the offensive line.
You know, one of the things when you see a young quarterback coming in like Billy Joe Tolliver.
Ball start prior to the snap. Number 79 offense, still 2nd down.
What you think you want to do on defense is heat on them. Get some blitzing in. Well, the Washington Redskins tried that a week ago. And Dan Henning said that Billy Joe Tolliver stayed in there. He maintained his cool. He did the job that he had to do. They went up 14 straight points on Washington last week. Of course, they lost it near the end of the game. But this young man is cool. And he knows that this is going to be his football team from here on out.
And it had to be encouraging for Billy Joe Tolliver and the young offensive line because the Redskins did take chances. But they did not get to the quarterback. Chargers didn't give up a sack last week. 2nd and Darren Nelson drilled out of the backfield. Man who made the play, Albert Lewis. He slowed him down in time for the others to come in to make the hit. No gain on that reception, maybe a loss of a yard. Albert Lewis in his 7th year out of Grambling goes at 6'2", 200 pounds.
This is probably the most active defensive secondary in the National Football League. Watch how fast that Albert Lewis is there on Nelson. He is right on his face, just waiting for a little bit of help, but Albert Lewis still would have made the tackle alone, I think.
Mike Bell enters the game for pass rushing purpose. 3 interceptions for Albert Lewis, a member of what most consider to be the very best secondary in the National Football League. 3rd and 15. The ball back at the 28-yard line of San Diego. Pocket holds up well for Tolliver. He has time. It's Nelson on the completion, but way short of the first down as he's run out of bounds by Danny Copeland, the extra defensive back of the dime package at the 35-yard line.
It was excellent blocking that time by the San Diego Chargers. Now look at Thomas is coming up the field, and that's Joey Howard blocking on him. Joey Howard just takes him back to the outside. The protection was there, Joe, but when you pick out a guy, when you've got 13 yards and you pick out Darren Nelson, who's only down the field 7 yards, you're not going to get first downs.
You've got to look off your primary if your primary is only 7-8 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Hank Elisic in to punt it away. Naz Worthen waiting back for Kansas City. The rookie from North Carolina State at the Chiefs line. Short one, but a very high one by Elisic. Worthen will stay away from it. Now he'll take it on a hop. And gets it out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. So when we return, the Chiefs will have it the first time today. 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line. Scoreless so far in Kansas City, 4 minutes into the contest. This is the 30th anniversary of the old AFL, and on a Friday night at the LA Coliseum on September 10th of 1960, Paul McGuire, a member of the LA Chargers. They eventually became the San Diego Chargers, matching up with the Dallas Texans, soon to become the Kansas City Chiefs. And Paul, you remember, you were there on that Friday night at the LA Coliseum.
I remember it very clearly. I got hit in the head in the first play, and I don't remember a thing. Are you kidding?
So that's the reason you turned out the way you did.
That's right.
1st and 10 for Kansas City. We welcome you back to Arrowhead Stadium. Stephon Diggs going in motion. Okoye on the carry. Good job defensively by the San Diego Chargers. No gain on the carry. But the NFL's leading rusher, Christian Okoye, who had 131 yards last week. He'll be working behind a solid offensive line, an experienced one, too. Mike Webster anchoring things in the middle. He's played more games than any other active player in the NFL. DeBerg so hot over the last 6 weeks, joined in the backfield by Okoye and Hurd. Gifted group of wide receivers when they go to their spread offense. They'll bring in Emil Harry and Clarence Weathers, the extra wideouts, and Todd McNair will be the one in the backfield. Second and 10, Okoye across the 35 for a gain of 5 to the 36-yard line.
You know, we did a game in Pittsburgh with the Kansas City Chiefs and talking about Christian Okoye. And the one thing that you want to get him to do, if you are going to slow him down, and that's to get him to go wide. If you get him to go right or left, he doesn't have the power. But once Okoye gets his shoulders squared, now you've got 4 to 5 yards.
In terms of football knowledge, Paul, he's still very young. He didn't even start playing the game until 1984. At Azusa for 3 seasons of college ball before coming to the Kansas City Chiefs as a second-round draft choice. 4 wide receivers in there on 3rd and 5 for the Chiefs at their own 36-yard line. Flags into the air. A free down for DeBerg, I believe. Goes up top. It's complete to Stephon Diggs. He's got more than enough for the first down into Charger territory.
Yeah, but I got to believe that, this has got to be, this play should have been stopped because the defensive end, even though he went offside, Irv Eatman, number 75, the offensive tackle, moved. I'm going to tell you what, you can go offside on defense as long as you don't make contact because you have to have time to get back. But Eatman moved before the ball was snapped. You can see him looking around.
16-yard reception will stand. The defensive front 7. This is the 10th best defensive unit in the NFL. Outstanding group of linebackers as well, with Billy Ray Smith, Dan Henning telling us yesterday, Marty Schottenheimer rather telling us yesterday, he thinks Billy Ray Smith is the best outside backer today. When they go to their Pirate, the extra down lineman and 2 extra defensive backs as well into that dime package. So we'll get a look at the secondary in just a second. 1st and 10 inside the 48 of San Diego. Okoye for a couple down to the 46-yard line.
I think the interesting thing that Marty Schottenheimer brought out about Billy Ray Smith is that and the San Diego Chargers, they do not play a 4-man front. According to him, they play a 5-man front because Billy Ray Smith is always on the line of scrimmage, and most of the time he's coming. When you look down the line of scrimmage, there's Smith, he's on the line. Now you see him, as soon as he reads run, he's up. He doesn't make the play here, but he is up on the line of scrimmage. So they consider the San Diego Chargers as a 5-man defensive line.
Because you'll see number 91 down so often, and that's Leslie O'Neal as the 5th one. 2nd and long. 2nd and a long 7 outside the 45. The receiver, Harry, fell down as DeBerg saw a lot of heat for the first time today. It falls incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and long now. The pressure coming from Leslie inside linebacker Gary Plummer.
Well, the one thing about the Chargers is that they just have too many people up on the line of scrimmage to be able to block them. So you've got to eliminate one guy. And the guy that the Kansas City Chiefs would like to eliminate, if there is one guy, it will be the outside guy away from the play, hoping and knowing that he won't get there.
What a big matchup Miami-Indianapolis is, especially for Indianapolis. They can move to an 8-7 mark, the same as the Dolphins, if they can come away with the Hoosier Dome today. 3rd and long for DeBerg and the Chiefs. Pressure comes, dumps it, and he can't get it to Manley. It's poked away by Elvis Patterson, but DeBerg took quite a shot from Vincey Glenn.
DeBerg is down. Vincey Glenn had a clear shot. Again, you put too many people up there, you don't have enough people to block, and what happens is the Chargers, they go to man-to-man coverage, but Vincey Glenn comes free, number 25, and you're going to watch the shot that he puts on DeBerg. DeBerg gets the ball away, but Glenn hits him with his helmet right in the chest, and that is a legal tackle. You see DeBerg, he's looking to his left right away, and Vincey Glenn off to the right comes in, bang.
8:15 left in the first in Kansas City with no score. Steve DeBerg made it under his own power off to the Chiefs sideline. It may have been a shot to his chin area, Paul, just below his face mask on his helmet. Hopefully he'll be able to return. He's been one of the biggest reasons that Kansas City has surprised so many people over the last 4 weeks with a record of 3-0-1. They are ready to punt it away after stalling inside the 40-yard line of San Diego. Got a good burn in to punt it away. He's got a 41-yard average coming in. McConkey waiting and calling for a fair catch. Back at the San Diego 12-yard line. A 35-yard punt with good hang time by Goodburn. San Diego in a hole now. Back at their own 12. Let's look back at that injury now to Steve DeBerg as he took a ferocious hit from Vincey Glenn, who was blitzing.
Vincey Glenn's helmet catches him right in the chin strap. Like that's where they're working. You know, we saw DeBerg coming off the field, Joel. He was holding his face. It looked like he was holding his arm, but it's nothing there except in the chin. And it looks like they cut it. Valor's up throwing, but I would imagine DeBerg will be back.
Oliver in the offense on the field for the second time today. First and 10 their own 12. Arthur Cox, the tight end in motion. Play action for Tolliver. Has time. Goes for Miller. Overshoots him by a good margin at the 25-yard line. Albert Lewis defending on the play. Trying to throw against not only the second-best defense, but the secondary is the second best at stopping the pass.
All right, let's take a look at the defensive coverage of Albert Lewis. Albert Lewis has got Miller, and he's got to play him for the deep route. And Miller goes back. The ball is just overthrown, but for that instant, Miller was open.
Charger offense coming off their most productive output the entire season in their 26-21 loss last week to Washington. They piled up 427 yards, 50 coming from Billy Joe Tolliver. Butts bangs his way near a first down across the 20 to the 21-yard line. He's short of the first down by a yard. Before we come back to Kansas City, let's go to Bob Costas and NFL Live for an update.
Okay, Joel, big one at Riverfront on the game's first play from scrimmage. Houston fumbles. David Fulcher recovers. Boomer Esiason immediately cashes in. 22 yards to Eddie Brown for the touchdown. The Bengals need this to stay alive. If Houston wins it, they clinch the Central. 7-0 Bengals in the first. Joel?
18 to kickoff. I guess we're fortunate because when we landed in Kansas City on Friday, it was 10 below. Wind chill at the 0 mark to start the day.
You know what I like on days like today? When they applaud, you can't hear it because they have their gloves on.
There's a timeout of the field. We'll be right back. The Arrowhead Stadium was 7 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first. Steve DeBerg was saved by the bell at the end of round number 2. They worked on him in the corner. They patched up his chin, and we've talked to Angelo Dundee that he'll be able to make it back for the Chiefs' next possession. Welcome back to Kansas City. Joel Myers along with Paul McGuire. 3rd and 1 now. San Diego used the timeout just before we broke away. Marion Butts in the counter give. He's got the guards pulling, and he's got the first down across the 25. Great action in the pulling of the offensive lineman. Enabled Marion Butts to pick up that first down.
I love misdirection plays, and that's exactly what they ran. They had everybody going to San Diego's left, and then they came back to the right with Butts.
Houston can clinch the AFC Central Division title with a win today over Cincinnati, but Boomer Esiason with a touchdown pass to Benny Brown has the Bengals on top. And Miami now with a 10-point lead. Sweeties with a touchdown reception from Dan Marino.
Don't forget about Pittsburgh. They still have a shot. They still have a chance to be on a wild card team.
Play action for Tolliver on first down. Sets up the tight end screen to Arthur Cox. He's got room and blockers. He's out across the 31st down again for the Chargers. Near the 38-yard line. Forced out on the far side by Kevin Porter.
Kevin Porter said, wait a minute. I need some help. This guy weighs about 280, and I'm just a little guy. That is a good screen out to the outside. Now, here's Miller. He's outside blocking on Ross, trying to keep him off the play. First of all, his job is to run him off. Now the screen play, he sees that into effect. Now, look at this. He's got him by the shirt. That's what you call doing your job. You free it out, even though you're not involved in the pass play.
1st and 10 for San Diego. Talk about tough luck teams over the last 12 weeks. The Chargers have a record of 4-8, and those 8 losses, they've come by a total of 32 points. An average of only 4 points a loss. Butts on first down. Gets to the outside as they broke the containment. And he's across the 45 for a gain of 9 to the 46. Let's get another update now with Bob Costas in New York.
Okay, Joel, at the Hoosier Dome, Ron Stark punts for the Colts. Scott Schwades grabs it for the Dolphins, and 6 later, he's in the end zone. The Dolphins have a crack at the championship in the AFC East, and for sure they're a wild card if they win this one today and beat the Chiefs in Miami next week. It's 10-0 in the first. Joel?
All right, Bob, thank you. So a great start for Don Shula and Miami. So far, scoreless in Kansas City with 6:24 left in the first 15 minutes of play. Second and short, the ultimate situation for Dan Henning and his rookie quarterback from Texas Tech, Billy Joe Tolliver. He'll throw it on second and a couple. Has a man, Walker, off his fingertips. They're a little bit late recognizing the one-on-one coverage over there. Tolliver got it out there, but Walker looked back a little bit late.
I'm going to tell you something. Now you have an idea of how strong Billy Joe Tolliver's arm is. He was not even set when he threw the ball. He just guns it. Watch the position of Billy Joe Tolliver. He sees the rush coming from the outside, and watch as he steps up. He's not set. He just slings that ball downfield about 40 yards. Great strength.
And he had definitely beaten Kevin Ross by a couple of yards on the play. That's that Tech combination that was so successful last week. Both Tolliver and Wayne Walker combined at Texas Tech to put up some great numbers. Third and short, 3rd and 2. Marion Potts charging his way up the middle. I believe he's got enough for the first down across the 48. He only needed to push it just past the yard marker, and he does have the first down.
We're going to see the center of Hall on Saliamua. Now watch this, the blocking. And they double-team Saliamua out of the hole, but then the fill by the linebackers, which you have to have. They're going to measure this thing. Remember, again, when we started this thing, San Diego, the last time they played the Kansas City Chiefs, gained over 200 yards on the ground against the Chiefs.
It was week number 3 of the season. It was a 21-3 win for the San Diego Chargers. And Steve DeBerg was picked off 5 times. He said, collectively, we had our worst day of the year. The players, the coaching staff, the entire week of preparation. Nothing worked out for us.
But then, again, we were talking to DeBerg yesterday. Steve, you know, what has been the big change in this football team? He said, well, I already consumed the offense. I had all this stuff in my mind. And it took a long time for this team to catch up to him. And offensively, in the last few weeks, or last 6 weeks, they have.
Jim Spencer in the backfield for the first time today, giving Marion Potts a quick breather. Play action for Tolliver on 1st and 10. Pressure comes, gets away from Derek Thomas, and he'll go down. First sack of the day for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let in there as Thomas forced him out of the pocket.
Billy Joe Tolliver is starting to grow up. Normally, a young quarterback would either throw the ball downfield, but Billy Joe Tolliver had no one to throw the ball to. Here comes Derek now. Thomas is back there. He forces him out into Griffin. But watch what Tolliver does. He can't see into the sun, number one, so he can't find a receiver. Not going to throw the ball away. Take the sack.
Thomas almost came up with his 11th sack of the season. Instead, Leonard Griffin.
Well, he told you yesterday he's going to get one, maybe 2.
He's been shut out now over the last 4 weeks, but he says quarterbacks have really been stepping up on him in the pocket once he starts charging from the outside. 2nd and 16. Tolliver on the straight and deep drop. Has a man and overthrows once again Anthony Miller. Near that first down marker. So it'll bring up 3rd and 16. Miller had 8 catches, career high last Sunday.
Look at the defensive secondary coverage now. You see they're actually really playing man-to-man. 3 safeties sitting downfield. Now that's what they want. They want to get that. But this is twice now that we've seen Miller open, and Tolliver couldn't get the ball to him. It just looks like Billy Joe Tolliver is not following through completely with his throws. It's almost like a stop motion.
It's a 3rd and 16. 10th play of the drive for the Chargers. Started back at their own 12-yard line. Butts is back in. Single set. Plenty of time, but a short jump box. You can't look at a 16-yard necessity and the needed yardage and dump it off 3 yards to your tight end that looks like an offensive tackle. That's a tough play to pick up a first down.
We saw them try that against the Jets out there in San Diego. It's 3rd and 16 and throwing a 3 or 4 yard pattern. Cox is big, I understand that, but he doesn't really have the foot speed. But one of the reasons you do that is because the defensive secondary has done such a good job, there's nobody to throw the ball to.
They came up short of the first down by 5 yards. Illicik in for his 2nd punt of the afternoon. Very high. Traveled 39 yards. Naz Worthen, the rookie from North Carolina State, waiting back at the Chiefs' 10-yard line. Illicik punches out another short one. Fair catch called for by Worthen, who drops it, but regains control, fortunately for Kansas City, after a 31-yard punt by Hank Illicik. Be right back to Kansas City. Still no quarterback Steve DeBerg took quite a shot on that last series to his chin from Benzie Glenn. Suffered a laceration to the right side of his chin, did not require stitches. And who's back in there now, leading the Chiefs offense. What a boost for Marty Schottenheimer and his group, because the consistency that they have gained. And DeBerg told us yesterday, Paul, he's never felt more confident about his ability and the level with which he is playing right now. He's feeling now that he's playing the best of his career, and he's in his 13th season.
And he said every time he was benched, he just kept up with the offense and knew that there's going to be a time to go back and play again. You got to give him a lot of credit.
Play action. He's the very best in the NFL at that. It's batted into the air and intercepted. Intercepted by San Diego inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. The Chiefs get it back on the first turnover of the day, and I believe it's the inside linebacker, yes, from Notre Dame, Cedric Figaro.
This play fake, now, I don't know, it might have been Grossman, number 92, that gets his hands up into Berg's face. But DeBerg, you're going to see when he comes out, he's all by himself. Now here comes Grossman. It is Bert Grossman. He gets his hands up, the ball hits up in the air. Figaro is there to get it. Great field position for the San Diego Chargers. We're seeing two good defensive football teams. Here's Grossman. He give a little pat. Hey, better meet.
And he's such a humble guy to begin with. Probably had some kind words. 1st and 10. Bucks gets it. And he is torpedoed at the 16-yard line after a gain of 2 by Dino Hackett. These two teams hitting so hard in the early going on a very, very cold day in Kansas City. Hackett from Appalachian State.
All right, just take a look at now. Here comes the blocking up through the hole, and that's Richard 65 getting up through the hole, but not popping. I mean, Hackett is the first guy down, but then he gets Burroughs and a few other friends. Ross is in there to make the play. That's a tough 2 yards.
7 carries, 30 yards totaled so far by Marion Bucks. Only one wide receiver, Miller, is in motion. Bucks picking his way down the line. Lateral pursuit, and Dino Hackett get to him again. A loss back to the 18-yard line. A loss of 2.
Joe, you don't want to try to run outside on this football team, and I don't think that the Kansas City Chiefs want to try to run outside on the San Diego Chargers. They just string it out, both of these defenses, too well. And when you get Butts moving sideways, you have a problem. You don't have his strength. They've been moving the ball very well from tackle to tackle. Stay in there. There are less people to block in there.
No score so far with 2 minutes and 33 seconds left in the first quarter. Hackett coming over to the sideline. They have the extra defensive backs in there. Now the dime package for the Kansas City Chiefs on 3rd and 10. Back at the Chiefs' 18-yard line. They bring the blitz. It's over the middle and intercepted. Intercepted by Kevin Ross. They take it right back. That's something Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday, the way this defensive unit deals with adversity. And now a fight breaking out. But the combatants separated in a big hurry.
The biggest problem here is you had 2 receivers in the same area. Miller and Darren Nelson. Look, they're both in the same spot. Excuse me, I said Darren Nelson. It was Wayne Walker. And then all Ross did was play the quarterback in the ball because he had help in there. And when you have 2 guys running in the same spot, now the pressure is up the middle. There's no question about that. But the problem is you had 2 receivers running in the same area. Take a look to your left of the screen. When they're both in the same area, you only need 1 guy to cover him. That time Ross did and played the ball.
Kansas City has it for the 3rd time. 1st and 10 at their own 9-yard line. Okoye the carry. Across the 10, a little breathing room now up to the 12-yard line on a gain of 3. So many important games in this 15th week of the NFL season. So many possibilities. Wild card and division championships up for grabs as well. Cincinnati gets a touchdown run from James Brooks, trying to keep the Houston Oilers away from wrapping things up in the AFC Central today. Indianapolis on the board for the first time after trailing 10-0. It's 2nd and 7 now. The ball to the 12-yard line. Page going in motion for DeBerg. Okoye on the counter kick. Across the 15 to the 16.
You see Christian Okoye, the way he holds the ball. Most of the time now when he goes up in the middle, it's with 2 hands. And I asked him yesterday, we had a chance to talk to Christian And he said, you know, when you first came in, you fumble all the time. They put pads on his arms, Velcro to hold the ball if they could. Anything they could do with Christian Okoye. And he said, he was very frank about it. I fumbled a lot in college. Not fumbled that much in the National Football League. And they go back to when I played in college.
DeBerg out of the shotgun. A 3rd and 3 from the 16-yard line. Looking for the dump off. He's got his man. It's complete. Out of the backfield, Todd McNair is drilled. Drilled right at the point where he took it in the 17-yard line by Gil Byrd. Young man from his state, former #1 draft choice of the San Diego Chargers. So they failed to pick up a first down, and the San Diego defense gets the job done. McConkey back for the punt. Two outstanding defensive units getting together today at Arrowhead Stadium. Skelly Goodburn will punt from inside his own 5-yard line. So it looked like a great opportunity for the Chargers to score. Intercepting that ball to the 18 by Figueroa. Ross then. The errant pass by Tolliver. And now Kansas City punts it away. Goodburn gets it to turn over. McConkey fair catching the ball and taking it in back at the 36-yard line. That is the final play of the first quarter, a 46-yard punt by Goodburn. Right where we started, all even in Kansas City. Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium. Joel Myers along with Paul McGuire. Scoreless thus far in a defensive struggle between two of the better defense in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Diego Chargers. And they call them the Wolfpack. New spirit here in Kansas City, and with good reason. Carl Peterson, the president of the team, and Marty Schottenheimer, the new head coach. And a lot to be proud about. With a 7-6-1 record, a chance to make the playoffs. Cox in motion on 1st and 10 at the 38. Marion Butts gets to the outside. He's a load to bring down once he turns the corner. And he's near a first down, out close to the 48-yard line. Hackett spinning him down along with Dan Salamua.
Most important thing about running outside against either one of these two teams, the one thing that you have to do, they're going to measure this to see if they have the first down, but the one thing offensively you have to do, if you can get that linebacker who is on the outside, which is Chris Martin on one side and Derek Thomas on the other side, if you can get them turned to the inside, with a team that plays a lot of man-to-man defense where your corners are dropping off, your safety, weak safety is already off, the strong safety with the tight end, then you have a chance to get to the outside before the inside backers get there. But the key is to get the inside linebacker. Now the Chargers are going to left of your screen. Now just take a look at where the inside linebackers are. There's Hackett's there. Outside, the inside linebacker on that side was, at that time, Chris Martin, number 57, but he was taken to the inside. Once you do that, you have room.
They're short of the first down by about a half a yard or less. Looks like it's going to be a very good one for many years to come for the San Diego Chargers. As Cox goes in motion. Play action for Billy Joe Tolliver. Here comes Martin. Martin's fumble. It's a fumble. Martin's got the loose ball as well. The Chiefs get it back. Chris Martin, the outside linebacker. He stripped the ball and then he picked it up.
Again, we're talking about the outside linebacker. Now, on a run, you've got to take him inside, but on protection, you've got to be able to block him. Chris Martin comes from the outside. Cox lets him go. When Tolliver steps up, Martin hits him, the ball comes out, and look at the presence of mind that he has to go down, pick up the ball. Now Kansas City has the first down at the 42. That's heads-up defense.
Third straight turnover between these two teams. After an error-free first 13 minutes. Two tight end set, Robertson, Hayes in there for Kansas City. There goes Alfredo Roberts in motion. Okoye getting it on the same side. They stopped the play pretty well. Okoye falling forward to the 39-yard line. Okoye with 38 carries, a new team record last week. 131 yards. Leading rusher in the NFL coming in with better than 1,300 yards on the season.
All right, James Saxon's coming in. You know, with everybody keying on Okoye as much as they do, if you ran a play action inside, going to converge all that defense and then run a screen back the other way away from Okoye, you've got something.
2nd and 8. They put it close to the 40-yard line. Okoye again on the carry, weaving his way. Not much there, though. Stopped cold by Gary Plummer and Cedric Figueroa. Two inside linebackers for the San Diego Chargers, so that is the 7th carry now for Christian Okoye for a total of only 17 yards. Standing job by the defensive front seven of the San Diego Chargers to start the day.
Okoye can only do so much, and you got to have the blocking up front. And as of the first quarter and going into the second quarter, the offensive line of Kansas City has not been able to move San Diego off the line.
Man-to-man coverage on the corners now for the San Diego Chargers. On 3rd and 7 for DeBerg from the 39. Over the middle, he stepped off McNair. He's got the first down inside the 25 to the 20-yard line.
Man, you know what makes this play is now I'm talking about the offensive line blocking. Because when you see DeBerg, they take the whole San Diego Charger team and move them to the right of the screen. Look at the lane on the left for DeBerg. All he has to do now is step up. He has nobody there. Picks McNair out. He's a short man. Nobody's covering him. The linebackers are dropped off. You can tell when you see Billy Ray Smith some 20 yards down the field, it's first down.
They put his knee down to the 21, where it's 1st and 10. Best penetrating the Kansas City Chiefs. Steve DeBerg now 3 of 5 for a total of 36 yards throwing the ball. Gives it off to Okoye. No, play action. It's the tight end and it's complete. Jonathan Hayes has it inside the 15. There is no doubt in my mind Steve DeBerg is the best at play action faking in the NFL.
Now, we asked him about that, and he said, but with a guy like Christian Okoye back there, watch what happens to San Diego. They all go for Christian. Right here.
Puts it in there.
Now, he puts it in, he takes it out. But the thing about it is, Christian Okoye carries out the fake. But what's the catch here by Hayes? He has to go down below his knees to get the ball. I don't care how cold it is. That's a great catch.
Steve DeBerg told us yesterday, it's funny, it's a lost art now. Ball handling in the NFL, people just don't care about it the way they used to. A 13-year veteran does, though, from San Jose State. Okoye gets it this time. Up the middle, he goes to the 5. Flags on the play. Is he in? Yes. But a penalty marker is down.
It's got to be holding.
It will be the call you just mentioned, Paul.
I think it may be against Hayes, number 85, who was the tight end. I mean, he's the one that walked back with his head down. That's just a guess. But again, if we go back to the play faking, I think it's really interesting to watch because DeBerg gives the credit. I mean, he said he's worked on it all of his career.
Holding, number 85 offense, that penalty be declined. Holding, number 77 offense will be accepted. Still second down.
Why did they decide to single out Baldinger?
Well, because Jonathan Hayes said, I don't want any holding penalties against me. They give it to him. But again, DeBerg really gives the credit for this play faking here with the Kansas City Chiefs to Okoye. When you have a guy like that, but the key to it is that Okoye carries it out. As much hitting as he takes when he's carrying the ball, he still gets hit when he doesn't have the ball. And it takes a lot of guts to do that.
The two tight ends stay in there as Roberts goes in motion. On 2nd and long, Okoye on the inside give. Dumped down inside the 20 at the 19. That was a 5.5 on the open-ended Richter scale. You could feel that up here in the press box. Gary Plummer on the hit. He hit him high. And did he ever go down?
Yeah, but because Vincey Glenn was underneath him and took his legs out. And that's where he got some courage. Linebackers are big enough to do that. Vincey Glenn is just a little bitty guy.
One of the unsung heroes in the defensive unit for the San Diego Chargers. So consistent, leading them once again for the 3rd season in a row. In stops. Chiefs 2 of 4 in 3rd down conversions. This is a 3rd and 7, a long 7, close to 8 at the 19-yard line. DeBerg out of the shotgun. Going up top for Emil Harry. Harry thought he was held up by the man on the corner, Roy Bennett, who comes in on the dime package for the San Diego Chargers. No flags, and it'll be Nick Lowry trying to get 3 on the board, the first points of the day for either team.
Well, the first I saw was Vincey Glenn sitting in there again, and he knew the blitz was coming. They didn't have enough people to block the people that are coming, and DeBerg did the smart thing. He just threw the ball away as fast as he could.
It's going to be a 37-yard field goal attempt for Nick Lowry, who's 20 of 29 in the season.
I like that face mask. Single bar deal.
The old-fashioned look for Lowry. The holder is DeBerg. It's on its way, and it's perfect, and the Chiefs take the lead. Points on the board for the first time today, belonging to Kansas City with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half.
As he's referred to.
Goal.
Yeah, as he's referred to here. Nick the kick. Think he knows it? Look at his head down. I like that. I mean, that just shows you how you're supposed to do it. Nick the kick.
Joining an elite group at the same time with those 3 points. Only one of 15 to score 1,000 in the NFL. Lowry into it. Miller will take it on a hop of the 9-yard line. Anthony Miller, can he get to the outside? He spun down. Did they use the face mask to get him down? Yes, they did. A flag down to the play. And so is Miller at the 34, but tack on at least 5 yards. You would have to think. J.C. Pearson in on the hit of the special teams. Anthony Miller showing frustration. Almost got to the outside. But where's Eisen? Eddie Brown with his second touchdown toss to his favorite target today.
Number 24 defense, 5 yards, first down.
You know, the Cincinnati Bengals a year ago, they were 8-0 at home. And they won the championship game at home, but they were 8-0 at home. And this year they went in there 4-3, and now they're doing a number. They're taking their frustrations out on Houston. Here's the face mask right here. And, you know, see, I'm going to tell you, this to me is 15 and not
Without
5.
a doubt.
When you take a guy and turn his head 180, it better be 15 and not 5.
Trade for the 5th time today at the 39-yard line on 1st and 10. Marion Butts bowling his way across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Gain of 3 on the carry for the rookie from Florida State. I'd like to remind you, we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game at the conclusion of the contest. When I asked Dan Henning yesterday if the draft was tomorrow, what would his priorities be? Didn't take too long to say a running back. He likes Marion Butts a lot as his fullback for many, many years to come. Now he needs that James Brooks type. The one who can catch the ball as the back of the flat, or that home run threat out of the backfield with a great speed as well.
And next year you will not see this offense with 3 tight ends in it either. He wants a couple of more wide receivers, or at least one more, and then assuredly the running back. 2nd and 7 from the 42 for Tolliver, who's going deep. Looking for Wayne Walker. He's got it inside the 30, all the way down. No, they say he was out of bounds inside the 25. Albert Lewis defending. Albert Lewis has perfect cover. Watch this on Wayne Walker, number 80. Now they're going to say he's out of bounds. There's the step, and he's on the line. I don't think he got either foot in bounds. Billy Joe Tolliver, you talk about happy. I love to throw him deep. The best part about it, I like it when they catch him. This young man was not drafted. Wayne Walker is injured his senior season, and when Dan Henning went down to look at Billy Joe Tolliver, he was throwing the ball to Wayne Walker, who had just come back after a 5-month layoff. Henning liked what he saw enough to bring him into camp, and this tech combination really working well as you get a better look now at Wayne Walker on the reception. 1 in, 1 on the line, though, and it's an incompletion. Be right back to Arrowhead Stadium. Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium. Before we broke away, Paul, we looked at it a couple of times during the commercial. He may have gotten both feet in and even got forced out a little bit by Albert Lewis on the play. All right, the official on the side judge, that's David Hawk, number 66. Now, he is there. And one of the reasons why I think they may not overturn this, because he has a better view of it than anybody else does. They're going to say they go into the field. But it looked like from that angle, the Walker had both feet in bounds. And even if he is touching the sideline, he's being forced there by Albert Lewis after he got 1 foot down. Jerry Seaman, you could see, after a long delay, was on the phone. Here it is right here. Now look at all right, the first foot is the right one. Now he's forced out of bounds, but it still looks like he's on the line.
After further review of instant replay, the play stands. Incomplete pass.
Well, that settles that. Tough call for the San Diego Chargers. Nice grab by Wayne Walker. He's coming off the best day of his young career. 7 catches last week against Washington for better than 100 yards. Tolliver looks like he's changing the play of the line of scrimmage. On 3rd and 7 with 3 wide receivers in the pattern and Walker in motion. Pressure coming up the middle. Tolliver has to unload it and throws it away.
Chris Martin and Derek, the two outside linebackers, getting in there in a hurry.
Are you ready for this? They put two guys on Derek Thomas, and he beat them both. He got down in a three-point stance. Watch this. Cox is going to come out. He's trying to block him. He can't get to him. And Quinn Early, number 87, was there, and he just ran by both guys.
10 sacks coming in, and that's 10 sacks without a sack over the last 4 games. Hank Alisic in once again to punt it away for the San Diego Chargers. 15 years in the Canadian Football League. Started punting in the CFL as a high school senior at the age of 17. A rookie in the NFL at the age of 30. Nasworthen waiting for the punt with flags down on the play.
That's movement by the offense, and they almost got to Alisic. He was there, and
Delay of game offense.
that's on the offense. But I'll tell you now, they came after him. Joe Hackett was in there, number 56, and Alisic came down on him, so they're not going to call a penalty for running into the kicker. Wasn't even a play. Delay a game.
They'll take it 5 yards further back from the 42 to the 37. So after that great field position, the Chargers can't do a thing with it. Failed to even pick up a first down after getting the ball at their own 39. Worthen back to 25. You just joined us, a very chilly day in Kansas City. Game time temperature 18 degrees with the wind chill at 0.
Kansas City, they have 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. There's movement in the offensive line.
He drops it, squibs it out with a flag down. Yes, a flag down to the line of scrimmage as it rolls out of bounds. Outside of the 30 near the 32.
There's no play here again because there was movement by the San Diego Chargers before the play even started.
Another 5 yards further back.
Well, and you've got to take the penalty.
Yeah, Alisic did a good job just to get rid of it.
Watch this. He gets down there, misses the ball, gets back up. Watch that quick step. Boom. Just all he wants to do is get it out of there. Derek Thomas is in his face, but that's great hustle.
And that's a heads-up play because we've seen indecisiveness from other punters along the way this year, Paul, where they've scrambled, they haven't what to do quickly enough, and then they're stuck with the ball back there.
Now, see, the thing is, the Kansas City Chiefs twice now went after the ball. What it does, it makes the San Diego Chargers now.
Right guard offense, still 4th down.
It makes the San Diego Chargers now bring all of their people inside, Joel, so they can't get 2 wideouts because before the ball is kicked, there's only 2 people that are allowed to go down. That's the guy on the outside on either side. But now they've got them all jammed inside. Whether they can go after the ball or not, they've got these people, and you get a return.
They take it back to the 32-yard line. Pressure again up the middle. A wobbler and a very short one. And Worthen will stay away from it as it takes a San Diego roll inside the 25. All the way down to the 23-yard line. But there's another flag down the play inside the 30-yard line. Three times and you're out.
That's holding now. Well, the one thing about it, though, Alisic, he doesn't have to warm up anymore. Look at him. How many times do we have to kick this thing?
Hope he wasn't working in the net on the sideline. He's going to become leg weary.
Now, here is the time where the Kansas City Chiefs should have a return on because again,
number 81 offense, still 4th down.
Again, you've got that whole San Diego Charger punting unit jammed to the inside, and this is a chance to hold them up. You won't get Patterson downfield, you won't get Holland downfield, and you've got to return. This is where you make a return. You could do a return even though you have the 10 guys up.
So the 10-yard mark off. Now you listen all the way back to the 7-yard line. These mistakes could prove to be quite costly for the Chargers. So it looked like it was going to be the Chiefs' ball just outside of their own 30 after the punter again. And Alisic with a low-line drive. It'll hit at the 50. Worthen will stay away from it as it's out of bounds in great field position coming up for Kansas City. And around the 48-yard line. Only a 29-yard punt by Hank Olisic under a lot of pressure, to say the least. Chargers get it back, and they lead by 3.
37-year-old Mike Webster, 16 years in the league. The Kansas City gets the ball. Watch the first guy out on the field. Number 53, Mike Webster. He can't wait to get out there. And this is slow for him. Now, the ball, that's because the ball was right in front of him. We're down the other end of the field. He'd sprint down there. Then he comes out of the huddle after they break, and he sprints to the line of scrimmage.
Great feature yesterday on NFL Live at halftime of the Denver Bronco Phoenix game on Mike Webster. Great work ethic. And Steve DeBerg put it very simply when he told us yesterday. He said, it's not what he says, it's what he does.
It really is an inspiration. And you got that feature yesterday. I mean, it was just solid because you got Webster, who's the oldest center in the league, playing against the San Diego Chargers, who have the youngest center in the league. Isn't that great?
Outstanding feature with Gail Gardner yesterday on NFL Live.
You bet. Here goes Mike. Stays warm, Mike.
They finally put the ball just shy of the 50-yard line. Okoye, the only one in the backfield. The Chiefs have it. They lead it by 3 with 8:54 left in the first half.
3:35. Running play to Okoye to the left.
Play fake. DeBerg wide open over the middle. Page, he couldn't make the grab that was down low. Martin Bayless on the coverage, but Page was wide open once he got beyond the underneath coverage, beyond the linebacker.
So was the guy out to his left, Emil Harry.
Cincinnati, a couple of touchdown passes to Eddie Brown, pounding Houston. Green Bay regaining the lead after Chicago got a touchdown pass from Jim Harbaugh to Neil Anderson to tie it up at 14. Miami trying to raise their record to 9-6 and eliminate Indianapolis from that AFC Eastern Division picture. 2nd and 10. Ball to the midfield stripe. Okoye on the straight handoff. Gary Plummer wrapping him up in a hurry, the inside linebacker. Gain of 3 to the 47-yard line.
Plummer is going to be sore tomorrow because he's going to be hitting Christian Okoye all day long, and it's no easy job. This offensive line of Kansas City's, you got Webster, Ballinger, Lutz, Alton, and Eatman. But just take a look at the defensive line of the San Diego Chargers. Joe Phillips just stands them up, and when he does help, he did his job.
This is the second best running attack in the NFL, and so far, they've only got a little bit better than 20 yards on the ground. Midway through the second quarter, DeBerg with time goes for the quick out. And it's in and out of the hands of Stephon Page as Gil Bird had the perfect coverage on the play.
It went in and out of the hands of Gil Bird. We talked to Gil Bird yesterday, and he loves a day like today, and he likes one-on-one coverage. He has total confidence in the defensive line and linebackers. But watch this coverage by number 2, Gil Bird. It is absolutely perfect. He's with the man. He is the man that's making the play to the ball. That's great.
Bird may be one of the only players in the NFL to walk on at college and then turn around and become a first-round draft choice out of San Jose State. And did he ever have incentive? He told us yesterday he wanted to go to USC, but one of the USC coaches told him he'd never make it in major college ball. He walked on at San Jose State. A great success story. Goodburn hangs up a high one. McConkey with a fair catch back at the 8-yard line. So the Chargers in a hole, but their defense doing the job once again after the Chiefs started with the ball at the 50-yard line. And if you missed NFL Live, some of the topics that were discussed today, Mike Shanahan telling Bob Costas that he turned down the job to Kentucky. Ralph Wiley feels that Keith McCants is going to be the #1 draft choice in the upcoming draft. And Jerry Glanville, well, he likes to play on the road when the opposing fans Oilers. And don't forget, NFL Live at halftime with Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, Ralph Wiley, and Bobby Beathard.
I think one of the reasons that Shanahan turned that job down is I think that the Raiders wanted Kentucky to pick up his contract.
1st and 10 for the 8th. The reverse goes to Wayne Walker. Smallest player in the Chargers lineup. Fumbles the ball as he's hit. Loose ball. Who's got it? Scramble around the 16-yard line. Kansas City recovers.
tell you, that play was set up so beautifully. It really was, and they were running very well with it. And Chris Martin, it was the linebacker to the outside. He had to hold off the offensive man to wait for some help. He did a great job. Walker had the first down. But look at the fake here. Here's again, you fake the butts this time. Walker comes around, and just take a look at now. On the outside, the hit there by Durant, and he helps. The ball is stripped really by Dino Hackett's hit. And Kansas City gets the ball. Now we got an injured player down.
Chris Martin on that fumble recovery. After the reverse, smallest player at 5'8", 162. They call him the Bug, Wayne Walker. And again, Kansas City with exceptional field position all the way down to the 17-yard line, but there is an injured Chief down in the field.
You know, when you were talking about Gilbert and they said SC didn't want him, he wasn't big enough to play, he couldn't play college football, a #1 draft choice in the pro. And what a gentleman he is, because when we talked to him yesterday, and here's one of the few guys I've ever seen that came to one of our meetings with a tie on. And that was impressive at the beginning. But what he said was, it just gave me, didn't badmouth anybody, just said it just gave me the incentive to play better.
Deron Cherry, the injured Kansas City Chief. What an articulate young man to follow up on that, Paul. Maybe the most articulate young man we've dealt with all year long in talking about Gilbert.
Another fine gentleman, Deron Cherry. Gilbert, impressive young man.
He loves the continuity in this defensive unit now. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator. And the level of confidence with which they're playing at is the key. As Gilbert discussed it yesterday.
He was on the San Diego Charger teams when they used to score 50 points and lose 51-50. You know, and he said it's really nice to know that we have a great defensive football team, and they have confidence in it. Lynn has done a great job with his team.
Officially, they give that fumble recovery to Deron Cherry. Chris Martin also around the ball.
Ron, they put some fingers up. I said, how many fingers? And he says Thursday. All right, Deron Cherry, he goes over the back, and he just lands on his back. But as he goes for the ball, his own man, who is Martin, number 57, hits him. He's all right.
So the Chiefs finally get it. 1st and 10 of the Chargers 17. 7:45 left in the first half, and Kansas City already leads it by 3 on a 36-yard field goal by Nick Lowry. Give to Okoye. Inside the 15, power play down to the 12-yard line. Gain of close to 5, and one of the longer runs so far this afternoon by Christian Okoye. So he's hit by Lee Williams.
He's hurt. He got hit in the ribs, and he's holding his ribs. Christian Okoye, number 35.
Christian Okoye has one meal in particular that he really loves.
No wonder he's holding his stomach.
And now, I don't know if you'd call this the breakfast of champions, but it's Nigerian stew made with beef and smoked fish, spinach, tomatoes, red pepper, pureed okra. Now, I don't know if I'd try this at home, but Okoye definitely works for him.
Well, it better make a great sandwich, wouldn't it? He's on the sidelines.
It's inside the 13, close to the 12, and he did take a shot from Lee Williams on that last play.
And I'll tell you, this will alter your offense, pal. When you take him out of that lineup.
They bring in a combo of Saxon and Herman Hurd. Split the backfield behind Steve DeBerg on 2nd and a long 5. Saxon gets the call. He's near the 11-yard line.
When I said it, alter your offense a little bit, or a lot, especially with Christian Okoye out, but imagine what it does also to the defense, because that is their key. They work on Christian Okoye all week long, where he goes, what his movements are, any tendencies that he has. Then all of a sudden, he is not in the ball game, and you come in with Herman Hurd and Saxon, it changes your defensive thinking.
No word yet on Christian Okoye. Looked like an injury to that rib cage. DeBerg out of the shotgun on 3rd and 4 from the 11-yard line. Pocket holds up for DeBerg. He's got plenty of time. He finds his back in the flat. It's complete. Rather, Clarence Weathers with flags down to the play. But there's a flag back around the 7-yard line.
It's against Kansas City. And I would imagine here they'll refuse it and just let him go ahead and kick the field goal.
Pass interference. Number decline. 4th down.
Called on Jamie Holland during the reception by Clarence Weathers. Rather, Emil Harry, former Stanford star, making that grab. Weathers with the reception, Harry with the penalty, and they will decline it. Nick Lowry will try to get 3 out of it. So a lot of credit going to the San Diego defensive unit once again. San Diego gets the ball. Kansas City gets the ball at the San Diego 17-yard line. All they can do is get it down to the 13, whether it's 4th down, and a 30-yard field goal attempt coming up for Nick Lowry. It's out of the hold of Steve DeBerg. Lowry right on target once again. Lowry now 22 of 31 of the season. And that's 1,003 points on his career.
And it seems like with his reaction, it's like every kick is a first one. Look at this. He loves it.
Kansas.
Buffalo Bills got a chore. How about that? San Francisco 49ers later on here on NBC.
And we understand that Steve Young is going to be starting a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
They don't lose that much, I'm going to tell you, because Young has been listening to Montana for a long time.
Lowry kicking it away to Holland and Miller. Miller calls for it. He'll take it to the 7-yard line. The threat for the Chargers. Getting a block to the outside. Can he get around J.C. Pearson? No. He's spun down by Pearson and Stacy Harvey. And San Diego gets it back after that 18-yard return.
Lowry's moved into 10th place, all-time kickers. He'll be around a long time the way that guy kicks. You know, this is our 4th game with San Diego out of the last 5 that they've played in the defense up through all those games. And in the latter stages of the game is when they kind of wear down because the offense they do not put points on the board.
3 of the last 4 possessions of the San Diego Chargers have resulted in turnovers. They've got it now 1st and 10 their own 25-yard line, trailing by 6. Marion Butts getting a block to the outside and getting the first down across the 35 before he's rolled out of bounds by Danny Copeland, close to the 38-yard line.
Remember I told you about, we got another injured player of Kansas City's on the field. And
Looks
that's
like Derek Thomas.
But I'm going to tell you, Arthur Cox, you talk about a great block. He drove Derek Thomas 10 yards down the field. And I said, if you can get the outside linebackers to the inside, that guy right there, what a great block he just made. That's Cox, number 88. He just took Derek Thomas downfield. Watch this, Joel. He gets in his face, gets his arm to the outside, a little bit of holding, not a whole lot, then drives him downfield. When you get that linebacker into the inside, it opens it up for the outside.
We have not yet received word on Christian Okoye's condition. Went out after a carry of about 3 yards, holding onto the side of his rib cage. But we've just gotten an update on Duron Cherry. He has a sprained knee and may not be able to make it back in the secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs. 1st and 10 for the Chargers. Their own 38-yard line. Butts again. Tries the right side. Very little there. To the 40-yard line. Neil Smith, the first one there for Kansas City. Coming up in the second half of our doubleheader on NBC today, most of you will see the Bills and the 49ers at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Others will see the Jets in Southern California, taking on John Robinson's Los Angeles Rams. They'll try to bounce back after that heartbreaking loss on Monday night to San Francisco. Derek Thomas into the game now. Good news for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2nd and 8 for the Chargers. Their own 40-yard line. Miller goes in motion. They have yet to get it to Miller. The 3rd best receiver, 3rd leading receiver in the AFC is Marion Butts. Goes across the 45 to the 46 for a carry of about 6.
That offensive line of the Chargers, I mean, they're just moving off the ball. And here comes Derek Thomas coming down the line of scrimmage. David Richards, number 65, is the right guard that pulls out, takes a piece of him, and puts him on the ground.
Christian Okoye, as we're looking at that young man on the sideline, has suffered bruised ribs, but he should be able to come back into the Kansas City lineup. Big third down for San Diego. Good field position. They want to continue to drive. They've got to convert on 3rd and 2. Oliver will try to throw for it. Pressure comes. Here comes Thomas. Buys some time, but throws it short of Darren Nelson. Derek Thomas again flushing him out of the pocket. So quick. Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday he likes to put him on the split end side and just turn him loose.
And, you know, here's the guy that when you talked to him yesterday, Joel, the one thing that he said, and I thought it was very interesting because no rookie that we've talked to so far this year has said that, is that what was the biggest adjustment that you had to make going into the pros? He said none. Absolutely none.
Alisic in to punt it once again. Nasworthen waiting back at the 15 as Alisic takes the low snap. Hangs up a high one, but again a short one. It's off a cheap, picked up by Martin Bayless. It looked like it went up Kansas City. Bayless advancing the ball inside the 15. Going to be brought back, though. The fumble was recovered to the 26-yard line. I believe it went off Kevin Ross.
This is where you don't have communication. I'm telling you, the guy, first of all, when McNair signals for fair catch, he's got to yell at the blocker being up there in front. He knows he's not going to catch the ball, but watch for this ball. Patterson's there. It just hits right off the backside of Ross. Martin Bayless is right there. You can't advance it. I don't know what they're discussing. Unless they're saying that they interfered with the fair catch, but I don't see a flag down.
He backed off the ball to begin with after he had signaled for the fair catch. It looked like it clearly went up of number 31, Kevin Ross.
Well, there's nobody interfering at all with the fair catch. I'll tell you that now. And it went off of Ross. It's got to be San Diego ball.
Very alert play by Martin Bayless.
The ball was touched by a receiving team player, recovered by a kicking team player. They cannot advance the ball. It'll be San Diego's ball at the spot of recovery. First down.
Good call by Jerry Seaman and his crew.
Yeah, but I don't know why it took so long. It's in the rule book, isn't it?
There's a requirement now of delays for the officiating crew in each half. San Diego getting it now at the 26-yard line. They had it, you might remember, in the first quarter at the 18 of Kansas City, but Kevin Ross, the man the ball just went off of, came up with an interception, his third of the season. Two tight end set. Anthony Miller in motion. Play action for Billy Joe Tolliver. Pocket holding up. Rifling it way over McEwen's head. The H-back.
McEwen had no chance to get to that ball. And when you see, except for the one long pass that Billy Joe Tolliver threw downfield to Wayne Walker, all the out patterns, the sideline patterns have been just, first of all, too high and too wide for anyone. He's got to calm it down a little bit.
That was great protection by his offensive line. He had ample time that time.
Most every pass that he is throwing is off play action, except on third down situations when he will go straight back.
You saw Tolliver 5 of 13. He's only 1 for his last 8. Second and 10 from the 26-yard line. Again, they're going with the two tight end set. The counter good to Marion Butts. Breaks the initial tackle, but still only gets a yard and a half on the carry. Inside the 25 to the 24. Dino Hackett, first one in on the stop. He has been so active over the first half for Kansas City.
Take a look at to the right of the screen. Now you got two guys coming up in the hole. Thompson and Patton are coming up in there. And the blocks are there. Butts cuts back to the inside where the pursuit is. They pick up a yard and a half.
6-0. Kansas City lead with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the first half. 3rd and 8. Tolliver doubling up his wide receivers to the same side of the field. Darren Nelson, who had 8 last week, out of the backfield, and Tolliver has to unload it. Pressure coming again. Just threw it away.
Well, he actually did not throw the ball away. He had Wayne Walker on the outside, excuse me, and Anthony Miller out there, and he threw to a spot. What happens
Claude
is,
Rains was there then.
Well, yeah.
The invisible man.
But when you're going to throw to a spot, they have to be on the same page. The receiver has to read the same thing the quarterback reads. If they don't do that, then there's nobody there.
Chris Barr in for the field goal try of 42 yards. He is 11 of 17 on the season. His longest so far this year from 49 yards out. It's on its way. And does he get it? No, just wide. He pushed it right.
You're seeing why the Kansas City Chiefs are the #2 defensive team in the National Football League. They just rise to the occasion. And when you talked about we talked to Heimer about their defense, Barr's trying to guide it in. He knows it's to the outside. No, not what. Got to get a break. Do I get a break? We talked to Marty Schottenheimer yesterday about his defense, and we said it in the opening. Marty just smiled. He said, these guys don't like to give up a first down, let alone a score.
But again, it goes back to his comment about dealing with adversity. When the offense turns the ball over, it seems like the defensive unit always comes up with a big play and doesn't give up points.
That's right.
So Kansas City gets it back after the big stand by the defensive unit, 1st and 10. At their own 24, a hearty group on hand. 18 degrees, wind chill at 0. And a crowd a little bit better than 40,000 at Arrowhead Stadium. DeBerg from the shotgun. Clarence Weathers has it. Out across the 30 to the 32. Elliott Smith. The extra defensive back in there with the clock moving.
Good offense.
Second, a little bit better than 2. DeBerg with plenty of time, throws it behind McNair.
You know, we mentioned Bert Grossman's name one time, and that's when he knocked DeBerg's pass up in the air, and they intercepted it by Figueroa. But I'm going to tell you, he's sitting out there playing on Irv Eatman, number 75, the offensive tackle who was in the USFL. And Irv Eatman is strong, he's fast, and he's big. And he's getting that step to the outside, hunting Grossman to try to take the inside move so he can either cut him or take him inside. And he is so quick off the line. You're going to see we've got Grossman on him right now.
Eatman goes at 6'7", 300 pounds. DeBerg working on a third and a couple. Movement on the line. Flags into the air. Free bound for DeBerg. And it's almost intercepted with another flag on the play. As Roy Bennett was defending on Emil Harry. It looked like offside and possibly interference as well.
Well, I think you may have offside against San Diego anyway. Another one of those double dippers.
Bennett had the good position on the inside of the receiver.
I thought Bennett made an excellent play on Harry downfield. They really did. And you're right, he did have position on the play. But offside?
Offside.
Yes.
Number 91 defense, penalty decline. Burns. Number 24 defense, accepted first down.
All right, let's take a look at Bennett, number 23 here now. All he's doing is turning for the ball. What he is saying that Harry grabbed him by the arm. Problem is, on a short pass, you're blocking the progress of the offensive man coming back to the ball. I think it was a bad call. I thought it was good pass defense.
I thought it was perfect coverage by Roy Bennett.
They would have gotten the first down anyway because of San Diego being offside, but they wouldn't have the ball where they have it now at the 42-yard line.
Bennett, in his second year from Jackson State, it appeared that he couldn't have played it any better. Maybe just turned his head around a little quicker to recognize the flight of the ball. DeBerg out of the shotgun. Inside give to McNair. Big hole for McNair. First down and then some. All the way inside the 20. Nancy Glenn finally caught up with him. That's the way we head to the 2-minute warning at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Chiefs rolling once again, already on top by 6.
How to execute a draw out of a shotgun. Now 72 Lutz on the right and Addix number 61 on the left. Watch what they do. They turn their 2 men to the outside. Now you got Mike Webster going downfield on Billy Ray Smith, number 54, to get the piece of him. The other people are backed off. Now McNair does the rest of this on his own. Just runs through people.
McNair is a rookie out of Temple on the developmental squad for the first 4 games of the year.
That's what you call drawing it up on the board just like you drew it.
And if you've just joined us, he's only getting time now because of the injury, the ribcage injury to Christian Okoye. First and 10 at the 17. McNair gets the call again. Can't get away from Billy Ray Smith, who held him to a gain of about 5 or 6. It could have been a huge game, though. Kansas City calling a timeout, stopping the clock with 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the first down.
All right, here's the same play again. Now this time, Lutz, they have to take the tackle to the end, frees up Billy Ray Smith. Now he McNair picks up 6 yards on the play, but Billy Ray that time was not blocked by Webster, so he can get into the play. Now, if they're going to sit in that same alignment, San Diego, run the same play again. If it's worth 6, it's got to be worth 4 to get the first down.
Chiefs on 2nd and 4 spread the offense out with 2 wide receivers to each side. McNair the only one in the backfield. DeBerg with pressure coming, dumps it off. McNair wide open to the 5. He's in. Touchdown Chiefs.
Joel, that time they ran McNair out into the flat. They saw the blitz coming. They were sending the linebackers. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be Bennett, number 23, or Gilbert, 22, but they happened to be.
Kansas City, a 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
I don't know whose man that was coming out of the back, but obviously it wasn't one of the linebackers because they were blitzing. It had to be a defensive back that just did not pick up McNair.
I think he's a little excited. His first career touchdown. The rookie from Temple, an 8th-round draft choice, Todd McNair.
You think they care about a 5-yard penalty after a touchdown?
Go ahead, Todd, celebrate.
That's right. All you want.
Lowry in for the point after try. DeBerg gets the high snap down. Good job by the holder, Steve DeBerg, to get that high snap down in.
All right, Joe, we're going to look at the touchdown with McNair. And, again, it's got to be a safety or a corner because McNair's going to come out of the backfield. Now, the wideouts go down. Now, here comes McNair. Now, when he looked, it looked like Lester Lyles, number 24, who was chasing him, got caught to the inside. So it was probably his man. He loses him. You see Billy Ray Smith blitzing, but he loses him, and you see Lyles coming in now, but it's just too late.
Both Bennett and Bird in the secondary were both fighting to the inside as well. And the pressure was coming on DeBerg up the middle from the linebackers. So they had the 4 wide receivers, the pressure up the middle, and McNair wide open in the flat.
You run 2 draws, which holds people to the inside, so that time Billy Ray Smith decided, I'm going to move over and blitz, which he did, and he was free, but DeBerg picked it up right away and got McNair to the outside.
Chiefs go on top now by 13 with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the first half. And even though Kansas City is leading by 13, San Diego's defense has done a good job to keep Kansas City to only 13 points so far.
They certainly have, and you've got to give them all the credit in the world because the offense really has not moved the ball, and they've had the ball in excellent field position a couple of times, once at, the 24-yard line and again at the 18-yard line, and didn't get anything.
Holland and Miller, the combo back deep. Waiting for the kickoff from Nick Lowry. High one, but a very on the run. It'll be Holland from the 23. Good field position for San Diego now across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Touchdown pass to Rodney Holman. Made it a 28-0 score now for Cincinnati. Minnesota and Cleveland in quite a tussle at Cleveland Stadium. Indianapolis and Miami only a game apart in the AFC Eastern Division race, with Miami at 8-6, Indianapolis at 7-7. And don't rule out the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got that 14-3 halftime lead.
We have next week down in Tampa.
First and 10 for Billy Joe Tolliver and the San Diego Chargers. He's hit as he releases it. It falls incomplete. Sally Omua third-year man from Arizona State who's in there due to the injury to Bill Maas.
Well, what happens is, especially in this situation, they know that the Chargers have, but which makes it doubly impossible for the offensive line is there are no offensive backs in the backfield. Sally Amua just breaks free and gets a piece of Tolliver. Tolliver got the ball away, but when you put no backs in the backfield now, the running game is off for the defensive line and linebackers. Just head straight for the quarterback.
What a sluggish start it's been for Billy Joe Tolliver. He's had his best chances on play action. Steps up into the pocket, going deep for Anthony Miller. Miller off his fingertips. They haven't looked at Miller all that often over the first half this afternoon. He's the third leading receiver in the AFC coming in today. And they've got to find a way to get him the ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, he just showed you his speed because Albert Lewis is a great corner. And watch this. Watch him go for the ball, Anthony Miller. And that's perfect coverage by Albert Lewis. And if you want to know why Anthony Miller has not been heard from today, it's because of that man right there, playing man-to-man on him and doing a tremendous job.
Tolliver now 0 for 7 in the second quarter. 5 of 16 so far this afternoon for only 39 yards. Coming off a 350-yard passing day, fourth best ever by an NFL rookie last week against the Redskins. 3rd and 10. Tolliver going for his man. It's complete. First catch of the day for Anthony Miller, his 66th reception of the season. Second-year man, great sprinter out of Tennessee.
Well, Albert Lewis loose on that play, and he's waiting for Danny Copeland, the number 25, to get to the outside. Now watch this. When Miller checks up, number 25, Copeland, will come in your picture right now. Never got out to the outside where he was supposed to be. Good pass play. Chargers only have one timeout.
Minute 23 left in the first half. A 13-0 Kansas City lead. Key third down conversion for Billy Joe Tolliver gives them a 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Nelson out of the backfield in motion. There's the dump off for Nelson. Waits for the block. He'll get a block now from the center, Courtney Hall, who's downfield in front. Inside the 40, all the way inside the 35 to the 32. Tolliver on the quick count. Going for Anthony Miller. He's wide open, complete to the 10, to the 5, and they just pull him down from behind. Kevin Ross got him inside. Let's see if they can hold out Marion Butts. And the San Diego Chargers. Tolliver throwing the ball, going for McEwen, off his hands. It's incomplete. Traveled about 5 to 7 yards, but still has to take something off of it. Miller in motion, 2 tight ends in there. Butts gets the ball over to the right side. Stacked up at the 1. 2 tight ends, and an H-back to the right side. Butts in the backfield. Miller, the only wide receiver. And there goes the H-back. McEwen in motion. Play action. Tolliver into the end zone. Wide open. It's complete to Andy Parker. Touchdown, San Diego. Extra point attempt. And the Chargers are only Dixon have to feel great about their situation now because they've had almost no offense until that last drive. As Chris Barr kicks it away, will squib it off the up man. It'll be picked up by Todd McNair at the 14. And McNair belted, going down to the 24-yard line, near the 25. Lester. Chiefs content to take a 6-point lead. The halftime locker room. So a battle between 2 offensive units in the NFL, and the Chargers making it very close in Kansas City with that 67-yard that stands out. And looking at the halftime stats, only 58 yards on the ground. But the Kansas City Chiefs, they come in today the 2nd best rushing attack in the NFL, with the leading rusher Christian Okoye out for a good portion of the second quarter with bruised ribs, but still only 58 yards against that San Diego defensive unit. 3 turnovers really have hurt the Chargers, especially when they had the 30-yard line of Kansas City. Okoye is expected to return. Deron Cherry is definitely out, though, with a sprained knee and a neck burner for Albert Lewis. He is also supposed to come back in the secondary. McNair on the return, and a good return at that to start the second half for Kansas City. All the way to the 35-yard line. Cedric Figueroa, the inside linebacker, the starter Dame, making the hit on the special teams for San Diego. And Okoye is back on the field to start the second half for Chiefs fans. And don't forget about the playoff ramifications for the Kansas City Chiefs if they can win their final 2 this afternoon's game. And next week's matchup in Miami, coupled with a loss by either the Raiders or the Browns over the final 2 games of the season, well, they are in the playoffs. Across the 35 to the 37 goes Christian Okoye. He was held in check by that defensive front 7 in the first half.
He was, and they tried to run Okoye basically from the tackle. So it just on this first play, whether it's any indication or not, he only has 31 yards. But if it's any indication now, it looks like they're trying to get him out a little bit wider now.
Leslie O'Neal in on that stop for San Diego. We have not mentioned number 91 all that often in the first half of play. He has gone 4 straight weeks now without a sack. For so long, he was the sack leader in the AFC. His teammate has taken over that distinction, Lee Williams, with a dozen. Play action for DeBerg. DeBerg with so much time. Going for Stephon. It's complete for a first down. Pulled it off to the 48-yard line. Gil Byrd over there.
We talk so much about Gil Byrd in the first half, what a great job he did. He does an excellent job on this play here. But the thing was that the Byrd...
For Chiefs fans. And don't forget about the playoff ramifications for the Kansas City Chiefs if they can win their final 2 this afternoon's game. And next week's matchup in Miami, coupled with a loss by either the Raiders or the Browns over the final 2 games of the season, well, they are in the playoffs. Across the 35 to the 37 goes Christian Okoye. He was held in check by that defensive front 7 in the first half.
He was, and they tried to run Okoye basically from the tackle. So it just on this first play, whether it's any indication or not, he only has 31 yards. But if it's any indication now, it looks like they're trying to get him out a little bit wider now.
Leslie O'Neal in on that stop for San Diego. We have not mentioned number 91 all that often in the first half of play. He has gone 4 straight weeks now without a sack. For so long, he was the sack leader in the AFC. His teammate has taken over that distinction, Lee Williams, with a dozen. Play action for DeBerg. DeBerg with so much time. Going for Stephon. It's complete for a first down. Pulled it off to the 48-yard line. Gil Byrd over there.
We talk so much about Gil Byrd in the first half, what a great job he did. He does an excellent job on this play here. But the thing was that the Berg had so much time. Look at the moves here by Page. Now, Byrd is with him. They're still together. But that ball, as Stephon Page turns and comes back to the ball, it's thrown where Byrd can't get to it. Now, watch the blocking in the offensive line. Here's the fake, the play fake to Okoye. And then Steve DeBerg just has all day. There's only one that got beyond the line of scrimmage.
That is only the 6th first down of the contest for the Kansas City Chiefs. 8 over the first 30 minutes of play for the San Diego Chargers. 1st and 10. The San Diego 48. Okoye banging it straight ahead inside the 35. Carrying tacklers inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line for a pickup of close to 5 yards. Finally, tripped up by the strong safety Martin Bayless.
When they get Okoye just going forward, watch what happens at the line. Now they make contact with their blocks. Now Okoye, he gets on Webster's rear end and just pushes him forward. That knocks the defensive man out of there, and they pick up 6 yards on the play.
2nd down at the 43 of San Diego. Okoye again. Nothing available over on the left side. Only a yard down to the 42. Christian Okoye, the leading rusher in the NFL, hit by Lee Williams. Comments from Mike Webster about the build of Christian Okoye. Mike Webster feels that he should be blocking for him.
What did Billy Joe Tolliver tell you yesterday about
Okoye? Give him to us. He'll be a guard. We'll put him out there and he'll pull for us.
We talked to Christian Okoye yesterday, and we did their game in Pittsburgh. And Christian, you know, everybody was telling us he runs the 40 and 4.5, and Okoye said, "No, sir." He said, "I run it in 4.44."
And we said, "We believe."
That's right.
We believe. 3rd and 4. About 2. Out of the shotgun all day for DeBerg and overshoots. Clarence Weathers, who was wide open, got away from Lester Lyles at the 35-yard line.
You know, Bert Grossman is such a dominant player, even though he is a rookie. But you got to look where he has to come from. There's a stunt. Here he is on the outside of the line. Now watch this. He goes all the way around. Luce tries to get a piece of him, but Grossman does finally get into DeBerg's face. That's hustle.
Kelly Goodburn in to punt it away. 1 first down and a punt possession for Kansas City. Short one, McConkey Almost running into his own man, Elvis Patterson, after going after the ball. And when we come back, San Diego will have it offensively for the first time in the second half. 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Tough to stay warm if you're not involved in the game and you're on the sideline for a good portion of the afternoon. 18 degrees at kickoff. And the temperature dropping in Kansas City. We're welcome at Stadium. Joel Myers along with Paul McGuire. Chargers down by 6, 13-7. Get it for the first time in the second half. Toniver with time. Overshooting Anthony Miller by about 10 yards. Double coverage over there. Kevin Ross and Danny Copeland.
Kevin Ross took the inside away because Billy Joe Tulliver was trying to hit Anthony Miller on a short pass, a short streak, but Ross took that away. Look at Cincinnati.
Jim Breach with a field goal of 27 yards just before halftime. Indianapolis trying to raise their record to 8-7 and drop Miami to that same mark. Up by 8 now over the Dolphins. And don't forget about Pittsburgh. They can raise their record to 8-7 today. Counter to Marion Butts on 2nd and 10 across the 15. Rolled down at the 18-yard line.
The San Diego Chargers could get, even with Marion Butts in there, they can get a lot more out of a running play if they would go wider with it at this point, because the Kansas City Chiefs linebackers are staying so close to the inside, which seals it off, and it forces the man to run inside. But if they can hook the linebacker like they did in the first half, Joel, they can get outside with more running room.
Chargers 4 of 10 in third down conversions. This is a 3rd and 6 from their own 18. Quinn Early's the motion man. Give to Darren Nelson. Huge hold into the secondary. It goes to the 35. Breaks a tackle all the way to the 45-yard line. He adds that breakaway dimension with a good speed out of the backfield.
Well, Darren Nelson, just take a look at what happens now. They just caved everything, they being the Chargers, to the inside. And then you have Patton. When you can have the tackle come up through the hole and really not have to hit anybody, you know that the job was done up front. And then Darren Nelson takes the ball out to the 45-yard line. Excellent call.
27 yards on the carry for the former Minnesota Viking. Did not want to go to the Dallas Cowboys. Came over to San Diego. The trade for a draft choice. 1st and 10 for the 45. Marion Butts going for a career high today. He only gets a yard. He's got 67 on 17 carries now. Last week matched his career high of 72 yards on 22 carries against the Redskins. And he didn't carry the ball at all in college. He was the blocking back for Sammy Smith at Florida State.
Carried the ball a lot this year. Take a look at it. Here's right at the point of attack. Now you've got the blocking. Parker is blocking on Derek Thomas. He gets him out, but Burroughs comes in, number 34, and makes the play for a 1-yard gain. It's good defense.
More and more, Marion Butts is looking like a real steal. As a 7th-round draft choice this year for the San Diego Chargers. Tight end Arthur Cox in motion. 2nd and long. Play action and plenty of time for Tolliver. He's got Anthony Miller, who got away from Kevin Ross. And he's got a first down to the 35-yard line of Kansas City.
Well, they can end up playing catch with Anthony Miller now, because you've got Kevin Ross covering him man-to-man, which is almost impossible on that young man here. Watch what happens. The reason this play works is because the Kansas City Chiefs could not even get off the line of scrimmage. Then you've got Miller going across. There's no way that Ross can stay with him, but give credit to the offensive line, because the Chiefs never got off the line of scrimmage.
Big chunks of yardage now for the San Diego Chargers. A 27-yard run by Darren Nelson, a 19-yard grab by Anthony Miller. Ending with it at their own 14 very quickly. It's 1st and 10 to the 35 of Kansas City. Single set. We've seen it so often. Marion Butts behind the block of Arthur Cox. Stacked up inside the 35. Close to the 32 by Dino Hackett.
You have to grit your teeth a little bit when you see Cox coming down and he starts to tippy-toe, and then all of a sudden he goes in the hole, and usually the man he's going to get is the nose tackle, Saliamua. I don't know if that's the man he blocked. It's got to be scary for the defense.
Is that why they call it the wham play? That's what the sound is when Cox hits you.
Oh.
We're at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City on a very cold December afternoon. Joel Myers along with Paul McGuire. Better than 40,000 on hand. 2nd and 8. Looking out of the backfield for a first down inside the 25. Still on his feet. So tough to bring down. He's got a new career high to the 21-yard line.
Now, when you see this thing develop, Neil Smith, number 90, is the end. But all you have to do is get just a small piece of him. Watch what happens. They just get a piece, not a whole lot. You don't need a lot of them. Thompson is the guy that gets a piece of them. But then the hole is there, and you're right. Bringing Butts down is like a Okoye getting him in the open field. It's very difficult.
Butts goes at 6'1", 250 pounds. 19 carries now, a new career high of 83 yards for Butts. Butts on the give again. Tripped up. Going down to the 20 for a gain of about 2. Kansas City Chiefs defensive unit did not allow a running back to go over 85 yards so far this season. That is the total Butts is at right now.
Well, remember, again, let's go back. They got him at 84. We'll get through right. An extra yard. But 200 yards rushing against Kansas City the first time these two teams played.
Second and long. Call it 2nd and 9. Again, only a yard on that last carry for Marion Butts. 2 tight end set once again. Miller, the only wide receiver in motion. Tolliver loses the handle, but flags into the air. Flags into the air at the snap of the ball.
That play is dead. That was offensive foul.
False start prior to the snap. Number 65 offense.
David Richards, the right guard out of UCLA in his second season with San Diego, called for the penalty. Sigh of relief with that penalty.
All right, let's take a look at David Richards. He's the right guard. He just gets out first. The ball was knocked out, but there was no play. When the whistles blow, that's the one thing you must understand. When you see some of the replays, when that whistle blows, everything is off.
Back to the 25-yard line. We're at 2nd and 14. It started all the way back at the San Diego 14-yard line. This is their first drive of the second half, and a very impressive one. They're trailing by 6, 13-7. Play action with Tim Spencer. Tolliver with time. Pocket holds up and throws it over the head of McEwen. When he misses, he makes sure no one gets close to it.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good throwaway. But had he looked to the right-hand side of the field, scrambling, it's kind of difficult. But Anthony Miller, number 83, watch where he ends up. Now, the Chiefs are playing zone. Look at Anthony Miller. You think he's open?
Chris Martin, the linebacker in the underneath coverage, the only one close.
Wasn't close. I mean, you can see him in the picture, but he wasn't within 15 yards of him.
3rd and 14 at the 25 of Kansas City. Extra wide receiver comes in. That's Wayne Walker. Also Quinn Early in there. Blitz coming up the middle. Tolliver in trouble. His receiver fell down. Wayne Walker fell down. San Diego wanted a flag. St. Albert Lewis shoved him down, but it falls incomplete. And it'll be a long field goal try coming up for Chris Barr. Missed one earlier. He missed a 42-yard attempt just wide to the right. His longest of the season, 49 yards. This is going to be a 42-yard attempt, I believe. They'll put it back now a yard further. The hold of the backup quarterback, David Archer, make it a 43-yard try. As Barr attempts to bring the Chargers back within 3. Has plenty of distance. And it's a 3-point deficit now for San Diego. They get points out of their first drive of the day. We'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City with 6:26 left. How cold is it in Kansas City? Well, first of all, don't be deceived by those heat waves you see from. It's so cold if you move, you may break a bone. They could be that brittle right now. 18 degrees at kickoff. It is dropped by it then, and the wind has picked up a little bit. Interesting configuration for Chris Barr and the San Diego Chargers special teams with flags down on the play. Going to be taken by McNair at the 11-yard line. And McNair pulled down, crossing the 25.
Chargers offside. As they lined up, here we go, offside. What they did is they lined up about 8 guys to the left of the kicker. And what Barr does is he kicks the ball off downfield, but he kicks it to the left-hand side where his players are to force McNair
Offside.
into that pocket.
Number 34 kicking team, penalty to Kahn, first down.
So when we come back to Berg and Kansas City, we'll have it for their second possession of the second half, leading by 3. Don't forget to join NBC for the second half doubleheader this afternoon. A big game for the Buffalo Bills, taking on Steve Young in place of Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers. Some of you will also see the Jets and the Los Angeles Rams in Anaheim. Welcome back to Kansas City. That is the favorite spot on the sideline, right next to the heater. Joel Myers along with Paul McGuire. We need one of those.
I need something for my feet. They're gone.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line for the Berg and the Chiefs. They lead it by 3, 13-10. Has been contained for the most part this afternoon. He gets 4 to the 34. Tripped up by Gary Plummer.
I just looked down there and I see a wrap on the thigh of Bert Grossman. Now that looks like an area you might be having a pulled hamstring or something.
Greg Taylor with a touchdown run. Cincinnati by 38 now. And what a big game it is for Miami to Indianapolis, with the Colts winning at home by 8 over the Dolphins. We're on a reverse to Lewis Lips, scoring another touchdown, making an 18-point advantage. There's the rookie from the University of Pittsburgh.
You can see that wrap on his leg, and that's usually where they wrap it for a pulled hamstring.
That's Bert Grossman on the right side. DeBerg throwing on 2nd and 6 over the middle, almost intercepted by Plummer. He was looking for Emil Harry. Plummer almost came up with the pick.
Yeah. Leslie O'Neal just drilled DeBerg after he threw the football. He is sitting on the line of scrimmage now. His job, he reads tight end, reads past it. They're just covering zone. But watch Plummer, number 50. He's right there, almost has the interception. Now here comes Leslie O'Neal. DeBerg throws. Leslie nails him.
And then his own man rolls over his helmet. Tough sequence for Steve DeBerg. 3rd and 6. The ball at the 34 of Kansas City. Here comes the pressure from Grossman. Almost got DeBerg. Instead of a first down. Stephon Page has it. So close to a sack for Grossman. Instead, first down.
And Roy Bennett really had no choice or no chance on this play with Page. DeBerg, first of all, he steps up. You just take a look at Stephon Page is coming inside. There's Bennett. He's behind him. And DeBerg puts the ball out in front. So there's just no chance for the defensive man. But watch this. Grossman comes up. DeBerg steps up and just throws that little pop pass.
Good touch on the ball.
Oh, you bet.
Something Billy Joe Tolliver has to develop in his game. Bert Grossman almost had that sack. 1st and 10 now to the 43-yard line. McCoy gets to the outside. Look out. He's got a first down inside the 45 of San Diego, right at the 45.
Oh, and if Okoye cuts back to the middle of the field, he might still be running. He had the play to the outside. It's the first time they've gotten him to the outside today. And when they see the film, he's going to shake his head and say, why did I cut? Now watch it. Here comes Grossman. Now Grossman gets caught back into the inside. And the tight end. But watch what Okoye does. He has a blocker, Manley, downfield. Patterson's there. But if he cuts back into the field, there's nobody there.
He is so difficult to bring down once he gets into the secondary. That is his longest run of the day, covering 11 yards. 1st and 10. For the 45 of San Diego. Okoye high-stepping his way. He skipped across the line of scrimmage for about 4 to the 41. Shows he's light on his feet as well.
There's that situation we talked about earlier in the game, is when the San Diego Chargers get up in that 8-man front. What they do is they're going to eliminate a guy, the block. And the guy that they're going to eliminate is the outside guy on the opposite side of where they're running the football, because they don't have enough people to even cut him back.
Drive started at the Kansas City 30. It's 2nd and 6 now. At the 41 of San Diego, Okoye on the carry. Takes quite a hit at the 40-yard line. Okoye really never got off in the first half. He's starting to generate now a little push out of the backfield in the early portion of the 3rd quarter.
I just watched Leslie O'Neal. He was the guy on the opposite side of the line where the Chargers were, they were overloaded to one side. so they just ran away from Leslie O'Neal. Nobody blocks him, but when he came down the line of scrimmage, because DeBerg carried out that fake that you talked about in the first half so well, he had to stop and look at DeBerg.
I don't think there's a quarterback close to Steve DeBerg in play faking in the National Football League today. He is that deceptive. 3rd and 5, the ball at the 40. Out of the shotgun works DeBerg. Dump off, and it's underthrown. Looking for Stephon Page. Gilbert providing that coverage.
He had Stephon Page open again underneath, and he would have had the first down. Gilbert was there, but the ball was thrown too low for Stephon to get it. Now watch the coverage by Gilbert. He goes back to the inside with him. Stephon Page is open. Watch where the ball is. Down. You can see the first down marker right there. He would have had it.
Kansas City giving the San Diego Chargers every opportunity to gain momentum, especially offensively, as the defensive unit has done quite a job for the Chargers throughout the afternoon. It's into the end zone. The punt by Goodburn. And there's a time on the field. Be right back to Arrowhead. Chargers will have it back. 2:59 left in the third, and they trail by only 3. On Thursday, they expected a 50% chance of snow today. But under clear skies, it looks good so far this afternoon at Arrowhead Stadium.
I would love to see it snow without a cloud in the sky. I mean, that'll be a great trick. That's that track AccuWeather, isn't it?
1st and 10 for the Chargers. At their own 20-yard line, Tolliver's pass deflected, almost taken in on the far side after it was tipped by Neil Smith. Almost taken in by Wayne Walker, the rookie from Texas Tech. Neil Smith, 2nd year from Nebraska. Really developed. The first-round draft choice last year. Not come on as strong as they had anticipated, but a force without a doubt this year.
You know, you wonder why you don't call Derek Thomas's name that many times. The fact is that they put Cox in motion, and then Cox ends up blocking on him, and he's a big load to block.
2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Marion Butts on the carry, gets to the outside, gets the first down across the 30 with a flag down on the play.
With face mask.
Butts with the good stiff arm.
I said it about getting to the outside, but the biggest problem is when you have your middle linebacker who ends up being Dino Hackett that sacrifices himself up into the line of scrimmage. He takes himself out of the play. Now here's the end of the play with Burris. But Burris comes in here, and he reaches up, and there's the face mask. Now that's a 5-yard deal. That's 5. But watch what Dino Hackett does, Joel. He just jumps up in. He's inside. Well, you just saw him for a second. When he does that, he sacrifices himself.
Burris called for the penalty. He's in there due to the injuries in the secondary. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Tottenham with time for Miller, and taken into the 40. Another first down all the way to the Chiefs' 37.
Well, that's putting the ball right on target. I mean, he hit Anthony Miller right at the break, and that ball was there as soon as Anthony Miller looked.
Albert Lewis arrived at the same time as the ball. Lewis with the perfect timing.
Whoops.
But the ball just a split second before he got there. First and 10 to the Chiefs' 37. Anthony Miller in motion. Butts on the carry. Big hole up the middle. Inside the 30. All the way to the 28-yard line. A gain of about 9 yards for Marion Butts, who's got a new career high and very close to 100 yards on the afternoon. He is now over 100 yards on 22 carries, 108. And prior to this contest, the Kansas City Chiefs did not allow a running back over 85 yards in any of their previous 14 contests.
And the San Diego Chargers, they're not doing anything fancy. They're just lining up and coming right at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Second, a long yard, close to 2. At the 29, counter blocks with blocking out in front. Has the first down. Inside the 25 to the 24. Finally pulled down by the strong safety, Kevin Porter.
Well, Smith misses him, and Walker Lee Ashley, number 54, misses him. Now, here they go. There's Patton going up inside, along with Thompson. And just take a look at Walker Lee Ashley, number 54, misses the play. They're just missing tackles. But the blocking is superb.
Injured Kansas City Chief is the nose tackle, Dan Saliamua. Third year from Arizona State. Plan B free agent signing. Spent his first 2 years in the league with the Detroit Lions. That'll be Greg Meisner taking over. Played so many years with the Los Angeles Rams. His first 8 seasons. Hopefully not a serious injury. Looked like they were looking at the knee of Saliamua. And the trainer came on the field. First down.
I'll tell you, this Charger offensive line has done a superb job. Started at the end of the first half, and now they've carried it on into the second half. And they're just moving the Kansas City Chiefs off the ball.
Marion Butts has just about doubled the output today of Christian Okoye. That is the first 100-yard day for a San Diego Charger running back this season. Week number 15, Tolliver looking up top for Anthony Miller and overthrows him. A little bit behind Miller as well. Good coverage by Albert Lewis.
Makes that bump and then just runs with Anthony Miller. There's no chance of this ball. And the one thing that Tolliver does is watch where he throws it. Lewis has no chance of getting the ball. If Miller can't get it, he doesn't want Lewis to have it either. And look at that coverage. It was absolutely perfect.
They have been taking on Albert Lewis a good deal this afternoon.
They are, and they better try to get some heat on the quarterback because Billy Joe Tolliver's getting an awful lot of confidence.
Second and 10 to the 24th. Final minute of the third quarter with the Chargers trailing by 3. Butts with Patton blocking out in front. Turns the corner. Has the first down inside the 10. He's close to the 7-yard line. First and goal for San Diego on a 17-yard carry by Marion Butts.
And again, just think the blocking is superb, but watch what happens on the defense. Walker Lee Ashley, number 54, gets caught inside. Number 57, Chris Martin, gets caught inside. And when they do that, Butts just goes back outside, and there's nobody down there but corners and safeties.
2 long drives now by San Diego, and they're only 2 possessions of the second half. They started all the way back at their own 20-yard line. First and goal from the 7 with Miller going in motion. 2 tight end set. Butts to the 5-yard line. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter as the gun has just sounded, ending the third 15 minutes of play in Kansas City with the Chargers driving once again. A close game is nothing new for Dan Henning, the Chargers coach, and his staff. It seems like this is the scenario for them every week. And unfortunately for the Chargers, they usually come up short. Right now, though, they've got the momentum. Second and goal to the 5-yard line, trailing by 3. We welcome you back to Kansas City for the start of the fourth quarter. Tolliver looking up top. Wide open, it's Miller. Touchdown, San Diego. First lead of the Chargers.
Anthony Miller just ran down, Joel, and just sat right beyond the goal line. And Billy Joe Tolliver hit him. Watch Anthony Miller. Now he'll go downfield. Watch what he does. He just sits up right in front of Kevin Ross. He's beyond the goal line. Nobody's covering him. Nobody's there.
Chargers have taken their last 3 in a row in the series with Kansas City. Trying to make it 4 straight today and now have their first lead of the 4 seconds into the fourth quarter. Barr has the extra point. And the Chargers have a 4-point lead. It's a 17-13 advantage for San Diego. We'll be right back. 2 long second half drives. And only 2 possessions in the second half so far have resulted in 10 points, and they've got their first lead. Nasworth and Todd McNair waiting for the kickoff from Barr. It'll be McNair from the 3-yard line. Looking for a seam up the middle with a flat play, and shows McNair across the 25 to the 28. Lester Lyles, the extra defensive back for San Diego, the first one down there.
Now, when the offense plays as well as the offense of San Diego is doing, what it does for the defense, it just really gives them that lift that they need to play. They've been playing well all year long. Now they have some offense to go with it. And it's going to be difficult for the Kansas City Chiefs to move this ball. They've basically shut down Christian Okoye. And the heat has been on DeBerg because all he's been able to throw are little dump passes. He hasn't been able to get downfield at all with the ball.
There was no infraction on the play. First down.
He just needed to stay warm, so he took it out and threw it. It is that cold in Kansas City.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
It's across the 27, called it the 28-yard line for the Chiefs. 1st and 10. They trail by 4. Christian Okoye is back out there, bruised ribs and all.
Well, this is do or die for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they can't watch the score worrying about the Cleveland Browns and what they're going to do. They got to worry about what they're doing here at hand. And they're not doing it very well.
The Cleveland Browns right now leading by 4 over Minnesota at Cleveland Stadium. Play fake, DeBerg to throw. Underthrows his tight end, who was wide open, but he was on the run with Leslie O'Neal right in his face.
He had Jonathan Hayes wide open, and DeBerg blames himself and no one else for it. He made a great play fake. Oops. Long ride back to Houston.
Eric Ball with a 5-yard touchdown run. Sam Weiss, we know now, does not want to live in Cleveland. Cincinnati.
Look at this. Indianapolis just destroying Miami now. That's in Indianapolis. Pittsburgh still holding on, 21-3. That Central Division will be some kind of division before this day is over with.
2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. Pocket holding up for DeBerg. Not long, though. He's hit. He's on his way down. No fumble. They rule it a sack. Back inside the 20. Bert in there for the Chargers of Cincinnati.
Look at this. Indianapolis just destroying Miami now. That's in Indianapolis. Pittsburgh still holding on, 21-3. That Central Division will be some kind of division before this day is over with.
2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. Pocket holding up for DeBerg. Not long, though. He's hit. He's on his way down. No fumble. They rule it a sack. Back inside the 20. Bert in there for the Chargers, along with the... Was that the nose tackle in there?
Joe Phillips,
yes.
You bet.
Joe Phillips as well.
They just caved on DeBerg. There was no play action, just straight back. 75 is Phillips, 92 is Grossman. Look at Grossman is the guy that's there. He has him in the grass. The sack is Bert Grossman's.
Grossman has been so strong in the second half of the season. 8 sacks, and most of those 8 coming over the last 6 weeks. Now it's 3rd and long. 3rd and 18. The ball back at the 19-yard line. Pressure again. DeBerg overthrowing Manley, almost intercepted by Elliott Smith. He was a little bit late reacting to the ball, or he could have come up with a pick. Offense still not underway in the second half for Kansas City.
And you're right about Elliott Smith, that he's been paying attention to the ball, but he has to play the man, and Berg knows, I mean, that ball just got away from him. But there was excellent coverage downfield.
Goodburn off the side of his foot. A poor punt by Goodburn. Gets about 5 extra yards on the hop, but still exceptional field position for the Chargers for their 3rd possession of the second half. When we come back, they'll start with it 1st and 10 at the 46 of Kansas City. Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Along with Paul McGuire, Tolliver, with a ton of confidence now in a 4-point lead, brings the offense back onto the field for the Chargers. They've got it in Chiefs territory. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Bucks over the 100-yard mark already. Pulling his way close to another 1st down. And a flag down, and Tolliver now hitting Thomas from behind. Billy Joe, you just don't want to do that to Derek.
Well, Derek Thomas hit somebody, and I think he was held, and then he makes a play, and then all of a sudden Billy Joe Tolliver, man, I'll tell you, I like the guts of this guy. He went in to help his own player.
He was helping his teammates.
You bet he was.
Jerry's lost his cap. More importantly, he's also lost that headgear he had to keep warm.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 58 defense. 58 defense has been disqualified. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 11 offense, offsetting dead ball fouls.
Now, why is Billy Joe Tolliver disqualified? If Derek Thomas is disqualified, let's take a look. And here's Derek Thomas. Arthur Cox is with him here. Now, this happens behind the play. The blocking was there. That play will stand because all this stuff happened afterwards. But I don't understand, and they should explain it to the people. If they're throwing Derek Thomas out, then why aren't they throwing Billy Joe Tolliver out?
It happened after that gain of almost 10 for Marion Butts. 138 yards now for Marion Butts, with 74 of that 138 coming in the second half. They're short by about a foot for the first down. Huge blow again to the Kansas City Chiefs defensive unit. Injuries have bothered them already this afternoon. Losing Duron Cherry early in the first half of the contest with a sprained knee. Albert Lewis also hobbled a little bit with a neck burner. And now Derek's ejected for the first time in his NFL career. Their leader in sacks, coming in with a total of 10.
Going in the locker room. He's not allowed out here. Can't even watch the game.
There's 13 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
But I still think it should be explained if he's thrown out, why he's thrown out, and why Billy Joe Tolliver, if he has the same personal foul, or has a personal foul, why he's not ejected from the ball game.
Good point, because Tolliver, and we may have picked up on that one, came up and slammed Derek Thomas from behind. Butts on the misdirection, has the first down, all the way down to the 31-yard line. They're wearing down that defensive front now. Kansas City.
They're just getting some excellent blocking up front. The Chargers, just take a look at the hole now. Number 65 is Richards coming out of the hole. Number 74 is Miller coming up through the hole. And what's happening, and we've been showing this thing to you all day long, is that they're pulling the offside people, and the guys you're going through the hole free. That means that the blocking on that side of the line has been done by the offensive lineman already.
First and 10 of the Chiefs 31. Tight end set once again. Play action. Plenty of time for Tolliver and a wide open McEwen. It's complete inside the 20. Close to the 15-yard line. Albert Lewis forcing him out on the near side, but not before a 16-yard reception by Craig McEwen, the rookie from Utah.
And again, go back to the offensive line of the San Diego Chargers. I mean, they are just giving Billy Joe Tolliver all the time that he wants to throw the football, and he can just sit back there and pick out the open guy.
Substitutions defensively now for Kansas City. They bring in Danny Copeland. Anthony Miller, the only wide receiver going in motion on first and 10. Butts on the give. Big hole up the middle. 6 yards on the carry to the 9-yard line. Neil Smith finally wrapping up the running back with Dan Saliamua. A career day, though, for Mary Butts. His first season out of Florida State. Came in with a career high of 72 yards. He's up to 150 now.
And what Marty Schottenheimer said to us yesterday is the one thing we have to do. They knew they had Anthony Miller and a young player. There's Marty down there now. So we have got to shut the run down. We didn't do it the last time, and they're not doing it again today.
This offensive line for San Diego averages about 300 pounds. Butts staying on his feet near a first down. He may have enough of the first down. And still they're hitting like it's the first quarter.
And they're not choosy, the Chargers, on which way they want to run. They can run Butts to the left or run them back to the right.
They'll bring in the chains for a measurement. The ball just outside of the 5-yard line. Stops the clock with 11:38 left in the fourth, and they have stunned this crowd at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City.
And the way the San Diego Charger defense is playing, they get up by 11. They score a touchdown here. It's almost impossible for the Kansas City Chiefs to come back in this ball game.
They've got the first down where it's first and goal outside of the 5. They've doubled, better than doubled, Kansas City in first downs. It's been eating up the clock with regularity in the second half with that ground game.
The most important thing is that the Kansas City Chiefs did one thing they did not want to do today was to get into a passing situation, because when you have the defensive line and linebackers that the Chargers have, and they can just tee off and come, you've got a lot of problems.
It's a 4-point Charger lead. They're trying to increase that advantage to 11 on first and goal. Marion Butts with Tim Spencer in there blocking. Stopped for one of the few times in the second half. Lloyd Burris and Saliamua over there for Kansas City.
Again, I said, you know, they don't worry about it. They spread it around. They ran butts to the left most of the field coming down, and now all of a sudden they get down by the goal line, and they're going to go right. This is 2 plays in a row. You've got Richards, 65, pulling out, but there was an excellent play by Lewis Cooper, the linebacker, number 55, to make the stop along with Burris.
Chargers had to like their chances going into the halftime locker room, Paul. They were only down by 6 at 13-7 after that late touchdown in the closing of the first half. And still in that first half, they had almost no offense and didn't have one ball going to their leading receiver, Anthony Miller. Second and goal inside the 5. Once again, maybe to the 4, and that is all. The nose tackle getting there first, Dan Saliamua.
See, Anthony Miller is still on the sidelines. They're going with Spencer, Butts, H-back, and 2 tight ends, which I consider 3 tight ends in the game. And I think Billy Joe Tolliver, he's looking for the sideline to get a play, but I'd like to have Anthony Miller in there, just even if you use him as a decoy, because it's going to tie up 2 guys in the defensive secondary.
San Diego Chargers offense starting to roll for the second consecutive week.
They're going to take a timeout here, I think, because they're letting the clock run down. They got 6 seconds on the play clock.
That's exactly what they'll do under the direction of their head coach, Dan Henning. 9:36 left in the 4th. 3rd and goal down at the 4-yard line. Last week, Billy Joe Tolliver engineered 427 yards of offense for the San Diego Chargers. He's already over 350 yards this afternoon with better than 9.5 minutes left. Dan Henning, when we asked him about Billy Joe Tolliver yesterday, said, we know now he can do it. We're going to build the offense around Tolliver.
You bet they are.
So Tolliver is in for the long haul, and now they're going to start orchestrating things in the draft. Compliment Tolliver. That first score. Surprise some of you if you're just joining us. Cincinnati blasting Houston in a must-win game for Cincinnati going into the contest with a 7-7 record.
They have it.
I guess they'll raise that home record to 5-3 on the year. Indianapolis, now that was a very close game for a long time. That was 21-13 midway through the 3rd quarter of play. Indianapolis and Miami.
Pittsburgh's hanging there. Indianapolis wins.
And Pittsburgh as well will be at 8-7.
But if Indianapolis wins, Miami loses, and Buffalo loses in San Francisco, they're back in a tie.
There's Jim McMahon, who started up until 3 weeks ago for the Diego Chargers. 3rd and goal to the 4. 3 tight end situation. Butts tripped up, can't get it in. He's inside the tip.
Well, here are the Chargers sitting there now. Joel, they've got a 4-point lead. They can get to 7 on a field goal, but they're not going anywhere anyhow. And they've got Kansas City's back against the wall. Now here comes Butts in. I mean, just tell you something. Like a nice play up front by Bell, number 99, to get to his feet. They're kicking a field goal here, and, you know, they want to win the football game. We understand that, no matter what happens. This puts them in a 7-point lead. But the way the defense is playing, if they go for it and don't make it, they've got Kansas City 90 yards away, and they have to go for a touchdown because they have a 4-point lead.
It'll be just like an extra point.
Maybe a
Chris
fake.
Barr, 20-yard attempt. And it is a 7-point lead now for the San Diego Chargers. So many of their games this year have been decided by 7 or less, and they've got that margin. The lead now with 8:43 remaining. Welcome back once again to cold Arrowhead Stadium with the San Diego Chargers after that 20-yard field goal by Chris Barr, now have a 7-point lead over the Kansas City Chiefs. And Paul, just like week number 3 when San Diego had over 200 yards on the ground, no team has really had a great deal of success running the ball on Kansas City except San Diego.
And again, San Diego knew it before that they could run the ball against this team, but when the defense plays as well as defensive San Diego is playing, it makes it a lot easier.
McNair on the return, getting it across the 30. Stiff arms Barr and is forced out of bounds on the far side of the 47-yard line. A 37-yard return by Todd McNair. That's what they needed, a shot in the arm, get the crowd back into the game. Chiefs trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're looking for their 4th straight win. Well, they're giving us a ruling on it, and they said the reason
that Billy Joe Tolliver was not ejected along with Derek Thomas was the fact that Derek Thomas initiated it with a kick. And I think it was Arthur Cox that he kicked. And Billy Joe just retaliated, so he stays in. If you like that rule, you're all right.
DeBerg out of the shotgun, trailing by 7. First and 10 from his own 47. Pocket collapses. DeBerg ducks the pressure and underthrows his man. He wanted it for Stephon Page. DeBerg did a good job of avoiding the sack, though. DeBerg just disappeared for a couple of seconds.
Well, watch DeBerg now. He just goes underneath, and how he gets out of there, I don't know. Billy Ray Smith was there. DeBerg gets up and just throws. It looked more like he threw the ball away than at a receiver.
Second and 10. 8:26 left. DeBerg one of his last 7 in the passing department.
Well, the Chargers did one thing already that they wanted to do. They got Christian Okoye out of the ball game.
They're setting up the screen, and they never get it out in the flat. Never develop the screen to McNair.
Well, if they did, Leslie O'Neal might have had it because that was perfect coverage by the linebacker / tight end or defensive end.
Kansas City's got to win this afternoon and next week at Miami to have any shot at the playoff. Then they need some cooperation from Cleveland and the LA Raiders. Either of those two teams has to lose one of their remaining 2 for Kansas City to make it in. Coming up next on NBC, the second half of our NFL doubleheader. The Buffalo Bills, desperate for a win, taking on Steve Young and the San Francisco 49ers. Young is subbing for the injured Joe Montana. Some of you will see the Rams hosting the New York Jets. 3rd and 10. Big play. But it's short of the first down as it's taken in by Stephon Page. Gil Byrd with a sure-handed tackle.
I'm telling you, Gil Byrd has played. We saw him play a great game against the Jets, which they lost. But I'm telling you right now, Gil Byrd is probably having the best game he has ever had. And you talk about adverse conditions, and he's running one-on-one with Stephon Page. Now look at the depth that he had to take. But once Stephon Page catches the ball, Gil Byrd closes on him, makes the play. DeBerg is throwing and ducking.
Goodburn hangs up a high one. Another short one, though. Laganji. What an addition he's been for the Chargers. Some ball security back there on the special teams after they gave it away that game in Pittsburgh so frequently. Now they've got it back 1st and 10 at the 23. You're right. It has been a sensational effort today by the young man from San Jose State, Gil Byrd.
I mean, that's tough coverage. You're covering Stephon Page all over the field one-on-one, and he's done a tremendous job today. And if you think about the passes that Stephon Page that he caught, a couple of them, he was not covering him, but they were short passes.
Chargers get it back with 7:40 left.
One going to carry the ball.
Now they can essentially put the game away, chewing up that clock once again and just getting a field goal. They're already on top by 7. Marion Butts, over 150 yards on the afternoon, only gets a couple on that carry. To the 25, near the 26.
Well, the reason this play worked on defense, Joel, was because the linebacker, Lewis Cooper, stayed to the outside, and the inside linebackers filled the hole.
This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Chiefs and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the San Diego Chargers, and the Kansas City Chiefs. All rights reserved. There's the young man in there now. Derek Thomas, who was ejected. Lewis Cooper in his 5th year from Western Carolina. 2nd and 8. Bucks dumped down in a hurry. Only got it to the 28-yard line. Dino Hackett, who had a solid first half, in on that hit.
All right, we're looking at the offensive line now. Now watch what happens. You see, this is one of the few times that the Kansas City Chiefs actually stood him up. They gave a couple of yards, but then Dino Hackett gets through and makes the play. You've got to keep those linemen off the linebackers.
Clock continues to roll in the wrong direction if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Under 6:17 left. 3,461 yards for Marion Butts. Both career highs. Quinterly going in motion. 3 wide receivers setting up for Tolliver. Delay gives. Aaron Nelson gets blocking. Gets the first down. He's across the 35 to the 36.
Joel, you have no linebacker out there. You've got Neil Smith down in a down position. You have no linebackers to the outside. And when it's run, watch when this play is coming right at you. There's Neil Smith. Now watch, if you see a 50 number, it's not there. All of us, Cooper finally gets over there, but he's pushed out of the play. But there was no linebacker to the outside. Patton gets in, he gets Cooper as he comes into the play. But as long as you don't have anybody to shut it down, you can't stop the play going wide.
And with that round, that guarantees the Chargers, barring a turnover, that they can take at least another 2 minutes off the clock. First and 10 at the 36. Marion Butts. They string it out. He fumbles. Chiefs recover. Teliamua's got it. The one thing the Chargers wanted to avoid. And Teliamua coming up with the fumble recovery.
Neil Smith hit him along with, I think it was Kevin Ross. He hit him, turned the ball over. And then you just open your mouth and say, as long as they don't turn it over, here it comes. Number 90 is Smith. But they string it out. Smith comes in. Ross comes in. The ball comes out. But the guy that did the job that time was Chris, the linebacker. Did not let the play go outside. If we could see that again, you could see what Chris Martin did. Chris Martin, number 57, just stayed outside and waited for help to the inside.
Let's see if this wakes up the Kansas City offense. They've been able to generate 3 first downs in the second half. A great deal of credit to that San Diego Charger defensive unit.
They're going to review it.
We'll take another look to see if Marion Butts was down already before he pulled the ball. What a day Marion Butts has had, the rookie from Florida State.
All right, look at 57, Chris Martin. You see him string it out. When he does that, it gives Neil Smith to get there. This ball is out. He is not down. That is fumble.
That's the third fumble of its stands this afternoon by San Diego.
The play stand. First down.
Just a little bit better than 40,000 here, but all afternoon, to me, they've been sounding like about 80 to 85,000.
They're doing a great job.
There's a new spirit in Kansas City, though, with Marty Schottenheimer as the head coach.
Poyer's back.
First and 10 from the 37. The NFL's leading rusher gets it, but only gets a couple to the 35. He fumbles the ball. It's loose. Was he already down? No. Whistle did not blow, and the Chiefs recover.
Luce gets it.
They take it, and they almost give it away.
Christian Okoye coming through here now. That ball is out. And the man that hit it was Lee Williams, number 99.
They gain the yard on the fumble with the clock moving under 4.5 minutes. It brings up 2nd and 7. Down at the 34. They've had so many problems, though, offensively in the second half. You wonder if they can turn it on now with that great field position. Play fake by DeBerg. Trying to set up the screen. He wanted to go to Stephon Page and had to throw it away. Gilbert again on the brilliant play.
Gilbert is there. Grossman was in there. Joe Phillips was in there. Irv Eatman got a super block. And DeBerg just froze everybody by that pump fake to give himself some time. That was to save his life.
Critical third down, biggest one so far for the Kansas City Chiefs this afternoon with 4 minutes and 11 seconds left. They are only 3 of 12 in third down conversions. McNair is now taken over in the backfield. They like to go to McNair in the passing situations. And DeBerg will work out of the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. They bring in Emil Harry and Clarence Weathers. Pocket collapses. They get to DeBerg. Lester Lyles with the sack. The extra defensive back was blitzing.
I'm going to tell you something. These people have been booing DeBerg because he's throwing some bad passes. He's thrown a few. But you give credit to this defensive secondary and the line of the San Diego Chargers. Take a look at Lester Lyles. He runs right by McNair. And they're booing because they're punting, but they have to punt. There's still 4 minutes to go. They still have all 3 of their timeouts, that being the Chiefs. They want to get San Diego down in there. The biggest problem is offensively they have slowed the defensive line and Lakers back down, and defensively they haven't been able to stop Butts.
Good bird in to punt it. Good hang time again. And McConkey, no options available, has to call for the fair catch. So now San Diego gets it back with 3:41 remaining. A 7-point lead and the ball at their own 10-yard line. Dan Henning's got to be saying, not this again. Sevens have not been lucky for this team. Other scores, week number 15. Houston finally gets on the board. Green Bay and Chicago in quite a game at Soldier Field. The final now at the Hoosier Dome. Indianapolis and Miami both at 8-7 on the season. And Pittsburgh also on their way to an 8-7 mark.
And if San Diego or Buffalo, I think if they win today, they wrap up their division.
Raise their record to 9-6 if they can knock off the 49ers. Butts on the carry, weaving his way to the outside. They stand him up near the 15-yard line. A gain of close to 5 for Marion Butts.
What they don't want to do is hold him. They want to run him out of bounds and don't let him stay in bounds to stop the clock. They do have 3 timeouts, the Kansas City Chiefs, but use that sideline. They actually have 4. They'll have 1 at the 2-minute warning.
36 carries, 166 yards. 36 carries, that's more than Marion Butts carried the ball at Florida State his entire senior season.
Now, can you imagine when you put Marion Butts in there and all of a sudden now you put a running back in there that you really have to respect? Can you imagine what he really can do?
A home run threat you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
Clock moving under 3 minutes left. Chargers by 7, 20-13. Butts gets the call and gets a couple across the 16. And now another altercation with flags down on the play.
And there's some idiots in the stands throwing snowballs.
The offensive lineman, Broderick Thompson, carrying out his block about 10 yards beyond the point of the tackle.
Now they go over for another discussion.
Jerry Seaman, the referee this afternoon.
No flag. Is there a flag?
Discussing it with the umpire, John Keck.
Face mask, number 54 defense, first down.
They call it on Walker Lee Ashley. Derek Thomas, the brilliant rookie from Alabama, if you've just joined us, already ejected from the game. Third quarter due to an altercation.
All right, just take a look at it. Thompson there. Now, watch what Ashley does. He spins him down, and that is a 15-yard penalty. Thompson's just doing his job. He's blocking. Now what?
Another delay. They put the ball to the 32. Such a sluggish start for this San Diego offense over the first half. They didn't get any points until they had the ball with 90 seconds left in the first half and trailing 13-0.
Please reset the stadium clock to 2:38. 2:38.
I set it to 2:40. Why is it when we do games they have problems with the clock?
And we're not in Pittsburgh.
That's right. We have Pittsburgh week, but it'll be in Tampa.
Where the weather has almost been Pittsburgh-like.
Now here's a situation where Kansas City is they really have a problem. They have 3 timeouts, Joel, and they'll probably start calling them on this play here. But the biggest problem they haven't been able to slow the Chargers down in the second half. Now, if you start taking your timeouts and you get into 2 back, and when you do, you're not going to have any timeouts left, and they haven't been able to effectively throw the football, they got a lot of problems.
That's the second half of our doubleheader coming up next on NBC. Most of you watching the Bills and the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of incentive now for the Buffalo Bills with the Indianapolis Colts defeating the Miami Dolphins. The Bills could just about wrap up the AFC Eastern Division with a win.
See? I told you 240. Wasn't 238, 240.
Always on top of those 2 seconds. Paul McGuire.
I keep a look. I keep my eye on those clock guys.
Vikings have just taken the lead over the Browns, 17-14, which is good news for Kansas City, but not right now. They're down by 7. Marion Butts on the carry on first and 10. He gets 3, up 35. And now Kansas City will use their first time out of the second half.
Joel, you know, Marion Butts has carried the ball almost 40 times. Almost 40 times. And the leg drive on this last play just shows you what young man has done all afternoon. I mean, it took 4 guys to bring him down. And he just keeps moving. The continuous action of this guy, it's just incredible. I mean, he's tired. He'll sleep well. Maybe
as he gets on the plane.
Yeah, maybe in the locker room.
NBC Sports is kicking off its college bowl season on December 30th with the Freedom Bowls. So join Paul McGuire, Jimmy Cephalo, and myself. Huskies of Washington take on All-America running back Emmitt Smith and the Florida Gators. That's the Freedom Bowl, December 30th, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The best bowls right here on NBC Sports. The Freedom Bowl at Anaheim Stadium in Southern California.
I did a lot of college football. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that's excitement.
It will be a lot of fun.
But you better get your 12 deeps instead of 3 deeps, because I'm going to say they play a lot of players.
And bowl games, I think they can travel 125. Second and 7. As they get ready to put it back into play, the Chiefs with 2 timeouts remaining now. Second and 7 with the ball just shy of the 35-yard line of San Diego. Who else? Up to the 37-yard line for 2 more. Another timeout. Used by Kansas City. 176 yards for Marion. That's done most of the damage to Marty Schottenheimer. And the Kansas City Chiefs. Marty told us yesterday, you've got to take away the run. They've got a huge offensive line, and that's been their biggest problem. They have not been able to slow down the ground game of San Diego in the second half.
39 times so far this game that young man has carried the ball.
Minnesota with a score, just taking a 3-point lead over Cleveland in a big game for the Browns. They have really had their problems offensively.
You know, the Cleveland Browns in the first half had 5 yards rushing against Minnesota.
Hard to believe when you've got a talented back like Eric Metcalf.
Yeah, their offensive line we did earlier this season, and Cody Rison and those guys were hurt.
They were banged up back then.
They've been hurt all year long. Here we go.
3rd and 5. Don't forget the Chiefs are down to only 1 timeout now with 2 left. They'll get a timeout with a 2-minute warning. Play action for Tolliver. Tolliver wanted to run it on the naked bootleg. Oh, taken down. Will it be a penalty? No. Neil Smith with a shot to Tolliver.
I'll tell you, it's a good thing Neil Smith missed him, because threw a forearm at Tolliver, and you talk about would have been a stupid mistake to make at this time of the ball game. Neil Smith missed him, and that's the only reason he doesn't get a penalty here. He lands on him, but watch his forearm. Watch the forearm. Look at this. But he missed and he hit the ground. Watch here. He misses him and he hits the ground, almost broke his elbow.
2 minutes remaining. The Chiefs ready to get it back, trailing by 7. Welcome back to Kansas City with exactly 2 minutes remaining. The Chargers ready to punt it away. Kansas City with 1 final chance offensively. 1 timeout remaining as well. Naz Worthen, the rookie from North Carolina State, waiting for the punt from Hank Ilisic. Worthen alternating with Pete Manley. Punt returning duties over the last few weeks for Kansas City. Low snaps earlier today to Ilisic. Let's see if they get it up where he has some time. Another low one. He has to punch out a line drive, returnable type. Big hop for Worthen. But no blockers out in front. He crossed the 35. Solid field position to start the drive for Kansas City at their own 36.
Isn't it amazing that Kansas City a week ago went up to Green Bay and beat them 21-3, and they scored all of their points in the second quarter, right? Here they are, They've got a goose egg in the first, 13 in the second, and nothing in the third and fourth.
They scored on 3 of 4 possessions in the second 15 minutes of play. Their offense has been dormant ever since. Minute 51 remaining.
Here they go.
They've got 3 wide receivers. Now they make it 4 wide receivers in there. McNair, the only one in the backfield with DeBerg, who works out of the shotgun. First and 10 from the 36. DeBerg buys some time. Over the middle, it's Pete Manley, wide open. First down to the 46-yard line. They've got to save that timeout. So the hurry-up offense.
And the Chargers that time sent 2 safeties. They sent Vincey Glenn and Lester Lyles into rush.
Under 90 seconds left. Same formation. They look like the left tackle lifted up for Kansas City. Flags down on the play. It looked like the left tackle may have lifted up for the Kansas City Chiefs.
On alt, number 76. That just stops the play.
False start prior to the snap. Number 76 offense. Still first down.
It was John Alt in his 6th year from the University of Iowa. 3rd straight season as a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. Inopportune time, though, to pick up a 5-yard mark off. First and 15 now, back at the 48. Only 1 timeout left for Schottenheimer in Kansas City.
And the Chargers just sit back in any type of a prevent defense. They still have to come after DeBerg and the Kansas City Chiefs, put some heat on them, because you're basically playing man-to-man in the secondary.
They have done so well being so aggressive in the second half.
Set the clock again, Bill.
You hate to see teams away from what they were naturally doing, the rhythm they've gotten into to get to the point they're at right now, which is a 7-point lead and control of the contest.
Exactly. I mean, the Chiefs have been in situations with the same offense on the field where they're predominantly throwing the football, and the Chargers after them. Just don't give DeBerg time to sit back there and find a wide receiver.
It's been a second-half shutout for the San Diego Chargers as they lead it by 7. Pressure coming on DeBerg. He's hit from behind. Ball incomplete. Looking for McNair, but he was tripped up right as he released the ball. Grossman was there along with Les Miller.
That time the Chargers just sent 4 people. Leslie O'Neal, Grossman, Phillips, and Williams. And they got there. That means the heat was on. And Les Miller was it. But look at here. Les Miller goes by. Leslie O'Neal gets his foot. Williams is there in his face, and Grossman also gets there.
Final now from Pitt. The Steelers raise their record to 8-7 with a 28-10 win over the New England Patriots. 2nd and 15 for Kansas City at their own 48. Pressure up the middle. Lee Williams, a fine clearance. Weathers wide open. Gets out of bounds, but is he short of the first down yet? He did not get the first down. And it appears that he could have taken a couple of extra steps, then bolted, even if he had to make contact with a man.
He did. He was worried too much about a block downfield. All he has to do now, look at this protection. Here comes Williams. He gets to the Berg, but gets there late. Now watch what he does. He's waiting for a play, but if he goes down further, he can still get knocked out of bounds to pick up the first down. You got to sacrifice your body a little bit.
Looked like he wanted to avoid the contact more than anything else on that play. Minute 13 left. 3rd, a little bit less than 2. 3rd and a yard, yard and a half. McNair won't get the first down. He doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
And now they have the final timeout with a minute 6.
We'll be right back to find out what Marty Schottenheimer does on 4th and a little bit better than 2. What do you call if you're Marty Schottenheimer? You need at least 2 yards to pick up the first down. It's 4th and 2. You're out of timeout, 66 seconds left. And I've got to believe, after what developed off the last running play, he's looking at McNair or maybe somebody dragging over the middle, one of his 4 wide receivers for a 5 or 6 yard pass.
They have to throw the ball, but the most important thing is to throw the ball short. Don't try to go deep with it.
Let's see if they look for number 48, Todd McNair, out of the backfield. Lyles showing the blitz on the right side of the defensive front. Here comes Lyles. They pick him up. DeBerg throwing. Has a first down, 4th and 2 to Weathers. It's down to the 31-yard line.
Again, the Chargers sent a blitzing formation at him. But then the Berg did the smart thing, just throw short, get the first down, and get on with it.
Now they've got to stop it. They've got to hurry with this play. They're out of timeouts on 1st and 10. It's batted down over the middle. Leslie O'Neal got there.
Leslie O'Neal stopped it for him. All he did, Leslie O'Neal, was just sit there on the line of scrimmage and watch the Berg's eyes.
Now the Chargers defensively have to be taking away the sideline. DeBerg throwing over the middle that time. It'll take them a good 10, 15 seconds if they throw the ball downfield to get set up once again, and they're out of timeouts. They've got to start looking to the sideline of it all.
But the only problem is here with the sideline, yeah, they're covering that, but the middle is open. You have time to throw one down the middle. That's what he tried to do. He may come back and still try to throw one more down the middle.
2nd and 10, outside of the 31-yard line. DeBerg dumping it off. Weathers again. Got to get out of bounds. He's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Now they've got to hustle up. DeBerg has to throw it away on 1st down. He's got to throw it into the ground. Get his people back. And he does exactly that. He stops it with 19 seconds remaining and a 2nd down at the 19-yard line.
Well, Weathers goes out of bounds when he shouldn't go out of bounds, and this time, the time that he should have gone out of bounds, he didn't.
And they lose a 10 seconds.
Oh, easy. But see, they have 19 seconds, Joel, and you're really, you're looking at outside. But the one thing that happens on a defense like this is the middle becomes open. And if you look straight down the middle of the field, you can see where the middle is open. Look at DeBerg where he's looking. Now he hits Weathers going over this way. Almost near the middle of the field. That place is still going to be open on this play, but do you have enough guts to throw it down there?
Here's 2nd down at the yard line for DeBerg. Over the middle in the end zone. Has Harry intercepted. Intercepted by Roy Bennett.
Bennett intercepted it, but I'm going to tell you, Harry was open. Harry was open.
It hung up there on
It sure did, and the middle was there. I just said, does he have enough guts to throw it down there? Obviously he did, but he didn't have enough on the ball.
The ball definitely floated on Steve DeBerg because Harry had a step or two on Roy Bennett.
Bennett made a super play. He just stayed with it. Not worried about knocking the ball down. He just intercepted it.
So for a change for Dan Henning and the San Diego Chargers, they finally come out on top in a close one.
You bet.
Second half of our NFL doubleheader on NBC. The Bills and the 49ers. Some of you'll see the Jets and the Rams at Anaheim Stadium. So one snap for Billy Joe Tolliver. And it'll be the 5th win of the year for the San Diego Chargers as they raise their record to 5-10. One of our easiest picks of the entire season. Time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser, our MVP. Marion Butts with a career high in rushing today, 176 yards on 39 carries. Marion Butts from the Chargers. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of Marion Butts, our MVP. For our producer, George Finkel, and our director, Brian Sheriff, this is Joel Myers along with Paul McGuire. Thank you for joining us as the Chargers beat the Chiefs by